Alright, so I am back. Let me put my headphones in so we can actually do this. If I have music playing, I do. Alright, so let me get situated after carrying the little dog around. My OBS is not showing what I wanted it to show. Weird. OBS is lagging behind actual YouTube. There we go. Now I see that I had people here. So I don't know who actually saw my dog there, but it was fun showing my dog off. I'm all out of breath because he's carried his heavy ass upstairs because he's growing so fast. But we are going to be building this today, the ScottoWing PCB edition. Let me get my OBS back over here. Why is my OBS small? There we go. So yeah, we're going to be building this. Does my zoom work properly? There we go. Which is a PCB. And I should mention that this stream is actually sponsored by NextPCB. They sent me these PCBs and we'll be talking about a tool that they have, which will probably actually do that first because it's kind of useful because it's free. And if you do like PCB stuff, it's kind of nice to have. But if we pop over here, we can take a look at the PCB here, just kind of see what it looks like. This is kind of revision 2 here of it because I kind of changed some stuff along the way. You can see that we have only one reset there, whereas this one has 2 resets here. So 2 different reset buttons. But yeah, this was sponsored by NextPCB, so if I pull them up, I just wanted to bring attention to this. I haven't streamed in a while either, so I'm kind of like out of practice right now. It feels weird. It's probably been like about a month since I last streamed, so I feel a little bit weird jumping into this now. But this is NextPCB, and what I wanted to talk about on here is a free tool because I know a lot of you guys actually build PCBs and stuff because of my video. And this is a DFM tool. It's like designed for manufacture, so it's kind of a secondary step on top of what you get in KiCad, which is the DFM tool or the design rules checker. So if we run here, I'm all out of breath still because I ran upstairs. How does price compare to PCBWay or JLC? It's more expensive. I will say that. That's the one thing, it's more expensive, but I think the quality is kind of equal to the little bit more expensive. It's like 10 to 20 bucks more expensive for like the PCBs on average from what I've seen. But you can see here that we have our DFM, or our design rules checker inside of here. Let's go on, Dev. How's it going? So this is like the first step that you do with a PCB to check stuff. But what NextPCB has, they have this tool here where you can upload your Gerber to. So if we upload this ScottoWing Gerber, it will actually run an additional check that will kind of check stuff that KiCad wouldn't check. So like different things of like the actual manufacturability of your board. So like you can see kind of the actual traces. So the physical stuff it will check in here, which this will load. And it is in beta. They did want me to mention that they're still kind of working out the bugs. But this is pretty standard here to see this stuff. But we're going to get here in a second a actual report. Let it load. It takes a second to analyze it, but we do have like all our solder layers. This is pretty typical PCB manufacturers, this software here, like this part. But the cool thing is once this actually analyzes it, you can see we start getting like some errors detected, and this is completely free. Like you could use this no matter what you want to use it on, like any manufacturer. You could run your PCB through here to kind of get a second check. But we can download this report and look at it. And you can see that it kind of warns you on like all the issues, which was really nice when working on this board because there was a lot more stuff than this than my last PCB I made. But I just want to talk about, like, you can see you have all the things passing here. These drill to copper, these fails are actually things I was fine with. So if we scroll down here, you can see that we have this risk area here, which is actually over in the KiCad design. You can see that we have a through hole here, and it's just burging there, which I'm fine with this. So you can kind of like just allow certain things, but it's just a really good tool that we can use this for free to kind of get more info on our PCB before we manufacture it and know what's going to fail or not. So just so they wanted to point out, I'll mention them. They're in the description if you want to check them out. But we're going to dive in now to actually building this thing now that we have some people in here. And we're going to start because I don't know where I'm at with this. So let's take this apart. I was kind of messing with stuff before this stream because I'm like kind of prototyping this. Like I mentioned, this is kind of V1, but it's not actually V1 because I kind of changed some stuff. So maybe like 0.0.1, because if we look at the design here, we have a little bit of a different thing here because I changed the controllers up a little bit. But this is the ScottoWing. It has a break off 6 column here, so you could actually break those off if you wanted to. And I kind of want to do that because I haven't done it. Do I have more PCBs here? I do. So yeah, I have a bunch of PCBs here. This is one thing I hate about PCBs, how they ship them too. Like, this is how they ship. I mean, this is a good thing. This isn't really a complaint. This is how, like, all PCB manufacturers ship them, is like this shrink wrap stuff. It was just really hard to get into this for these because of how tight all the angles and stuff were. But what I'm going to do is pull one of these out because I want to break off the outer column just to see if it actually works, because I did design this in there. Kind of took that from the core and kind of took inspiration from that, but you should be able to just take that and it should snap right off. Yeah, so now that is a 3x5 layout if I broke both halves off. You would have to clean that up a little bit with like a thing like that. So if I just look away, but yeah, you can see that we can convert that into a 3x5 if we wanted to, but I'm going to be building the 3x6 today, and I've been running a few iterations of the case here, but this is kind of where we're at now. So we're just going to take the PCBs here. I have two different ones. They also have matte black, which is nice. Next PCB has that, where other manufacturers don't. So we have matte black on the left and the just regular black silkscreen on the right here, which I kind of like this one better than the matte. I think the matte picks up fingerprints a little too easily. So this is what we're going to be building. But what we have to do is I'm kind of trying to think what I want to do with this first. I want to do the diodes, I guess. I'm not going to do the hot swap sockets until I actually get the board working, because I want to test everything before wasting hot swap sockets because they're expensive. But yeah, this is the board here. We have up top a little power switch, which I could show you, because this will be compatible with a nice Nano if you wanted to go that route. So we have this really tiny, let me zoom in here. Osh Park offers matte black. No, I think they do, but I'm pretty sure they're like extremely expensive because they're based in the US, like insanely expensive. I think they offered me, or they quoted me Osh Park, if it's the one I'm thinking about, it's like $320 for like 5 PCBs. So it was like insanely expensive. But here's a little switch. So we have this little tiny switch here that is supposed to go right in that spot there, but I'm not going to do that today because we're building the wired version with an RP2040 board instead of a nice Nano. But that switch will go in there, and I actually in the design revised it where it pulls down a little bit, so a few things I had to kind of revise with this one here. But yeah, we also have on the back here, this is where our controller will mount. We're going to be using this little RP2040 Pro Micro that will sit like that on there. And the thing I was doing before this video is trying to figure out if I want to go with regular solder headers, or if I want to do, if I can find where I put them, do these right here, the headers. And I don't think that the sockets will actually work because of how this is mounted, so I think this is probably going to end up being a just solder board with these, which isn't the biggest deal in the world, but it might be a little bit annoying. We'll just see how we could do that. I might have to actually raise the case up and make it taller. I'll just see how I do that. But yeah, let's just start getting some diodes on this now, because that's the first step. We can get a controller on it, and then we can see if it actually works. So let me grab some diodes, which I had conveniently over here that decided to disappear now. There they are. They're underneath everything. And I think we're going to be using these switches too. These are the ones I did in a build a while ago, but these are the T1 tactiles, I believe. But another big thing about this board is that it uses DO35s. So these are DO35 through-hole diodes, making it a lot easier than my last board I did. My last PCB I used surface mount diodes, which I think like turned a lot of people off on that one because it was harder to work with. But for this one, all you do is you take a diode, pop one of these out, then you have that little line on there, and then the diode will go with the line of the diode. It will kind of, if we pre-bend this, so pre-bend that, and then we can pop them in to where that line is. So they go like that. And you pull it right in. Try not to bend it, because you want to bend it once it's in, but pull that in and then tighten it, and then you can kind of bend it on the back to hold it. But yeah, they're DO35s, and on this board it's a little bit weird because they don't go all the same way. They actually go towards the outside. So on this side, the black line's facing that way, and then this side, they're going that way. But that just makes it a lot easier for a beginner to work on because they're just through holes. So kind of goes like that. I get 60 on one of my codes. I don't remember the exact number, but it wasn't that much. I might be thinking of the wrong manufacturer then. Because I'm pretty sure when I used a different PCB manufacturer in the US, they were expensive. So, all right, yeah, let's take these and start getting these on here. Let me turn on my filter. And I was actually going to change this tip. I'm going to change this tip to a D24 tip. So a chisel tip is just a little bit easier to work with. So let me grab, I need one of these. Turn this thing down because it's cranking already. So for the handwired builders, this KU tip is great. But for something like this, I actually want a little bit of a more fine tip. Just make it a little bit easier to work with. I hear my dog barking upstairs. Oh, I forgot that was glued on. Shouldn't have did that. Take that one out. There we go. Pop in the D24. I always like to like hold it to see which way I want it to hold. That feels about right. Where'd my screw go? It's still there. Okay. Take that on down. And now we are good to go. Beginning getting some diodes on this. So let's heat this up. We're going to do this at around 320 degrees Celsius. Should be about fine for this. Put this stuff back too. All right. Let me get a few diodes in here so we can kind of do them one after the other. Makes it a little bit quicker. So let's pull some of these out. And my arm there, if you're wondering, that's for my dog gnawing at my arm. So yeah, I look like I went through a meat grinder, which is fun. We're just going to take these. And we'll start putting these in and making sure the direction is correct. And with these DO35s, you just kind of take them on the end and flare the ends out like that, and it works perfectly to hold them in place. It makes life so easy to solder them in. I don't like how this one's positioned. Strictly, I just don't like how it looks, so I'm gonna replace this one, just because I don't like how uneven it is. That diode would have worked completely fine, but I want it to look pretty, so I'm taking it out. I probably shouldn't actually like try to make this board too perfect anyway, because the design is actually changing in terms of the PCB itself for the one I'm going to do the video on when I do a video. It's going to be a different PCB, version 2 technically, but actually 1 because I'm just calling a 1. This is like the prototype one. But yeah, we have those in there that we can do. Let me see if this... Am I punched in all the way still? Yeah, I am. Let me zoom us in even more. There we go. All right, so let's begin soldering. Hey Joe, I recently got back into fooling around with KiCad because of your videos. They're really helpful getting reacquainted with KiCad and keywords. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I've been getting so many people commenting on my KiCad video recently. Are you still planning on doing a video on the software? Actually, yes. Before I dive into doing this, let me actually hop over here and let me show you something I released recently that might be useful. We go to my website. So... where did I put it in here? I did this video on this little write-up on firmware. So this would probably be useful if you go to my website. You can find it. It's on resources and guides. But I'm also going to do a video on this. It's a very simple way to like start compiling QMK. So would be useful to you, I think. But let's get back to soldering now. So through-hole diodes. On my first one, on my Scotto 34, I did surface mount, which was fine. I mean, it allowed me to get a little bit fancier with the design, but for a beginner, surface mount diodes are not very easy. So part of the thing with this PCB is I try to make it, I wanted it to be as accessible as possible to like anyone really, you know, because obviously if more people can make it, the more people will buy it, but it's just easier to build too. So it's not as big of a pain in the ass like the Scotto 34 with the surface mount. And I will mention, if you are building this, save these. You want to save the legs because that's what you'll use for socketing them. But I don't know if we're going to socket it. We'll have to figure that out later. Just take these and clip them all off. But you can see just how easy, like, through-hole diodes are. They're super stupid easy to do, which is why I did it on this. Part of the reason. So, we'll just keep doing these. Make sure I get all the lines aligned correctly. You know, I also didn't post this thing on my Instagram like I normally do. Where did my phone go? Did I lose my phone? Oh, it's buried under a bunch of cases here. Also, that reminds me. Here's the original ScottoWing. This is the hand-wired one. So this is the original, which I do have a video on my channel if you want to check that out. But let me post this, because I always post this on my Instagram when I'm live, just because, yeah. But for some reason, I didn't do it this time. Probably because I got distracted with the dog. I definitely feel, I said this at the beginning already, for anyone that was here or there, I definitely feel out of practice because I haven't streamed in a while. I haven't streamed or done videos or anything in a long time. So, like, getting back into it now, I have a lot of videos planned this month, actually. Probably about, I think, 3 or 4 videos I'm trying to do. I don't know if I'm going to get 3 or 4 videos this month, but that's what I'd like to do if possible. So I have this here, which will be a video. There'll be a dedicated video for this. And then I have some stuff that's getting sent to me that's pretty cool. A keyboard with like a mouse built in, which is pretty neat. I'll share. I have the Scotto Katana build behind me still. I have a lot. Hello, Angus. Yeah, Angus is upstairs, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, you commented in the Discord. I saw you there. So yeah, welcome. Scotto PCB edition. This one, which is a little bit, it's still prototypey because I'm still changing stuff. Is he building the board? Not yet. Not yet. I haven't trained him to build keyboards yet. I'm trying to train him to not eat my arm. Meat grinder arm here, so that's first, is I don't want him to eat my arm before he can do anything else. But I go to play with my dog and he's just like, he decides that my arm is the toy, not the toy I'm trying to play with him with, it's my arm instead. So he'll just eat my arm and I'm like, oh, okay. So that's fun. Now, the one thing I keep worrying about with this board is that, I mean, I'm going to have to figure it out. Like, I'm going to have to make a compromise for the controller in the middle. Either not socket it, or either socket it and raise the board up maybe a millimeter, or don't socket it and just make it solder only, which might be a problem considering I want to use a nice Nano, and those are expensive, so you don't typically want to solder those without sockets. You want to be able to easily remove them. So I don't know. I'm trying to toy with the idea here. I've also considered too just saying screw it to the nice Nano and just making this an RP2040 only board. I mean, it would still work with the nice Nano because I mean it's the same footprint, it's the same for them. But I don't know. It's one of those things that I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with it direction wise. Yeah, those solder joints look great. Been waiting for another Scotto PCB edition. Yeah, this one here, I'm excited for this one. I mean, I don't know if you were here when I showed this like a second ago, but it was this. It's based on this, but this one was chalk, so it's lower profile. But I don't know what even triggered me to like build this board too, or design this into a PCB. I just kind of did it. I think I was sitting down with KaiCat one day and I was just like, screw it. I'm just going to convert it into a PCB, and I did. And then here we are. It's also simpler to convert the boards with a center mounted controller, because it just works out better. Whereas if it doesn't have that center controller, I'd have to do like a circuit on it. So it's kind of one of those things. Let's see. Yeah, working with these through-hole diodes is so much easier. It really is. Like, the surface mount, they allow you to do more in terms of design. Like, you can get a little bit better placement. But these surface mount, or these through-hole ones, you just put them in and you're good to go. It's just easy. So it makes it stupid easy. Hey, Zach, what's up, man? You say you made this one. I haven't streamed in like a month. There weren't many to miss. There weren't any to miss. Just I haven't been streaming. I haven't been making videos. I haven't been doing like content. Mainly because I've had a dog. So like getting a puppy, you kind of got to focus on the puppy. It's distracting. That's what I'm trying to say. But now that he's getting a little older, he's not as distracting. So RP2040 is the reason I got into keyboard design. I love the drag and drop nature. Yes, there are a lot of RP2040 boards, but it's a little bit harder to design like circuits for it. It's a little bit more in depth. There's a little bit more moving parts to it. So if I wanted to build a board with all that on it, it would have more stuff to do basically than like a Arduino. But all right, so yeah, those are on there. What I want to look at is I want to look at this, because this is what I keep stressing about right now is, so I have these headers here, right? I'm gonna punch this out. Oh yeah, Zach, you did move recently. I remember you said that. Yeah, I'm dreading when I have to move all that shit back there. It's gonna be torture. But yeah, let's look at these. It's stuck in there. So we have the regular headers here, which if I put this one on, actually they gotta go this way on the back. So you have the regular headers, which will work fine. We'll take those. I reverse mount the controller to keep it low profile. So this will sit in there, I believe, like that. So that it aligns perfectly with the edge, just like that. And then, well, I don't have the standoffs on this, but this would sit in here. And that would align perfectly so you could plug it in. The problem with these here, the socket ones that's annoying me, is that they're not flush. So if I get this out of here, you can see there's a height difference, which is annoying that there's that height. Maybe what I could do with these is maybe I make it bigger. Maybe I make the opening on the PCB bigger for those. Maybe. Because, like, that's just, it's really annoying me because, like, I designed it based on these, right? So it was designed based on these, but, like, it just, yeah. It's like, if you can see there, there's a height difference, and that's a big deal because when this controller sits on there, it's higher, so it doesn't align with the edge of the case the right way. Unless I, like, made the case bigger. If I made it, like, 8mm standoffs, which I don't really want to do, because it's, like, 2mm taller then. So it's just something I'm, like, being annoyed by right now while I'm trying to build this. I have to figure that part out, but let's keep doing diodes to see if we can at least get the firmware to work. The leverless controller. Is that the one you posted, the green one, the other day in the Discord? The green controller board? Where are my pliers? The flux is, like, sticky on the back of the board, too. Oh, the one with hot glue, I remember now. Or super glue. Because you always bashed at me for using glue, and then you use glue in a board. I remember that. I remember that. That was funny. I'm remembering now. I mean, I'm trying to not use hot glue on all my boards. I'm trying not to, but... get these diodes right. I mean, there is the option, too, with the controller, maybe just exposing it and putting it on top, but then with the case top, where'd the case top go? The plate. I mean, that's the whole thing with the ScottoWing is the design. So, like, if I put it up top there, there's that issue to figure out. So I'm kind of, like, in this dilemma right now of maybe I just say, hey, solder only, which is kind of crappy because a nice nano is very expensive and you don't want to do that, but it might be the way. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think solder only is acceptable for a controller? I mean, I know I always talk so much about socketing them, but what do you guys think on soldering a controller? Is that acceptable? Is it a deal breaker for you? Like, if you have to solder the controller, is that a deal breaker? 'Cause for me, I mean, that's not a deal breaker, but, like, I think for some people, that is a deal breaker. I mean, I should also mention, too, with the nice Nano, it will have a reset button, so it's not like you can't reset it because it's upside down. It will have a physical reset button that you can reset it from still. So it's not like you're losing anything, it's just that it's harder to get on. MB Pi Pico? What do you mean MB Pi Pico? I don't mind soldering in. I don't know. Nice Nano being like $22, kind of. Yeah, that's my thought. Is like if it's this board here. I mean, these are cheaper if you get them on Alley, but my shop I sell them for $10. That's what I'm planning on for these. RP2040 little board. It has 16 megs flash. Very nice. It's like the bigger Picos I use, except smaller. So that's not so bad. But like soldering a $25 controller, that to me is not the greatest. So I think the option there might be to just raise the case up. I think that might be the option. And like I don't like that, but it might be the only choice. So, actually, wait. Now that I think about it, though, the case is... The bottom of the case is only 1.6 mils, so it's a little bit thinner, actually. So I could actually raise it up and still be fine and still be within tolerances of what's normal for an MX board. So I think it's fine then. Soldering, it kind of comes with the territory. I don't love it, but I don't mind it. Yeah, that's part of what I'm thinking too, kind of, is like a board like this, it's kind of pushing the limits almost. Not like limits, but like it is trying to be thin and low profile. So if you want to use a nice nano, there's options. But I don't know, maybe I just raise the board up. Maybe I just raise the whole thing up 2 millimeters and it'll be like half a millimeter bigger than a board normally is, or half a millimeter taller, which isn't a big deal really. I think that's the solution, maybe. That might just be the solution, is I just push it up 2 millimeters and call it a day, and then it should work. So, yeah. Thinking how that will play out now. I think that would work. I think that's the solution. Because, like, you don't want to permanently bind a nice nano to a board and then not be able to remove it. Like, well, I mean, you could remove it. It's just, if you've ever had to desolder 24 pins, it is not fun. So, like, yeah, no. I think I'm really globbing the solder on here, too. Starts to look so cool once you start getting dials on. Those are sharp, though. God. Those are really... Did I just rip that pad off? No, I didn't. I thought I did. So I'm actually thinking maybe I should get the controller on, because I really want to test the firmware. I'm pretty sure it's gonna work, but I just don't know if I don't know if I want to do the sockets or not, because like raising the board up, I'm not a big fan, but it should be fine. If I'm not shaking that day and I have patience, I can solder anything. I have a problem with desoldering. I can pretty much solder anything normally, no matter what, but desoldering is just a pain. Especially, like, if you had to desolder all that in the middle. Torture. I'm nervous about doing my firmware. Don't be nervous about firmware because, well, I mean, you can brick your board, not to scare you, but it's possible. Get more nervous about building stuff. Building stuff is when you have a higher chance of breaking shit. When you are doing firmware, it's mostly code and you'll know before you flash something if it's broken or not. For the most part. Sometimes you can do something in QMK where it just, like, doesn't work and you will brick something, but that's kind of rare. Alright, so... Alright, let's take a look here. Let's actually... Alright, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take these standoffs, because... So these are 6 mil. These are 6 mil standoffs. That's how I got it to work with this PCB. And if we put these on the back here... This can kind of give you an idea of what it will look like. So we'll just temporarily put a few of these on to get the spacing between the case... I don't do much caffeine either. I drink like half a coffee in the morning. That's about it. Too much and I feel like I'm like going insane. Doesn't really make me shaky, but just makes me so I can't think. I feel like my brain's not thinking. My brain's not thinking half the time anyway, but especially when I drink caffeine. Alright, so if we get these on here, what we'll be able to do is take the case, and you'll see we have this standoff, so this will actually sit in there at the proper spacing. And then, kind of sits in there tightly, but what we want to do is if we take these, So this here is the proper spacing that I was aiming for. I mean, maybe there's some solder headers I can find that are better, but we take this. So that's how it should sit, is like that. You can see the little gap there. Then we take it and put it in the case. Is that upside down? I mounted that upside down. Alright, so we take that. So I can't really move this too much, but you can see that's the gap I'm aiming for. So then you can easily get a USB cable. It's like the USB would plug right in there, right? So that's fine. But if I put it with the other headers, see, it doesn't like to come out. There we go. If I put it with these, it's higher. Where'd my other solder header go? Just gonna sacrifice this whole bar so I can actually check it. So now you can see, like, there's that bigger gap there, which is a problem when we get in the case. Let me get a piece of tape. Yeah, so there's the dilemma, is that now it doesn't sit in there properly. So what I could do, actually, I could probably test right now. Where do you find the male side of those? I have them, I just don't have them on here right now. I'm just using the female ones for this. Because I plan on using, to keep it low profile, I'm going to use the diode legs to actually do it. But what I want to do is I'm going to take from my bucket of screws here. This is a nice 3D print I did too. It holds like all my stuff. But I'm going to actually take some 8mm standoffs. And we're going to see what this looks like. How high it actually sits. Because if it doesn't sit that high, it's probably okay. Probably. So yeah, we'll take these. I mean, it's only 2mm higher, right? Like, that's not that much, right? Like, is 2mm a lot? I don't feel like that's that much. I cannot find a big bag in the male side. Go on AliExpress and you'll be able to find them. They sell them in pairs. That's how you get them. So they're kind of expensive to order, like, in bulk too. Not like insanely, but more than like other components. But there's 8mm, so 8mm. So 8mm works. So there's 8mm there. And then if we put the plate on, let's see where the switches, where'd my switches go? All right, so let's see how high this is now. So we pop one of these on. Let's pop in two of these and hope they actually work. That was right. Those go in. So I think I mentioned it too. This is prototype board right now. It's very, very prototypey. It's not like ready yet. But these should at least go in. Why the hell's that not going in? Wait, what? Hang on. Oh, I'm dumb. It's upside down. It's supposed to go in this side. Oh my god. It's upside down. I was like, wait a second. Why are my footprints all switched? I was like, hold on. So yeah, these have to go in this way. That was a big brain fart moment right there. So I was like, I knew I tested this before if they would actually even fit, because I tested the switches already, but then I was like, why are they not going in? Board's upside down. Rookie mistake. So yeah, I think I have mentioned this. I mentioned this at the beginning. This stream is sponsored, but these PCBs are from Next PCB, and like, I've been pretty impressed with the quality on them. They like are noticeably, they're more expensive than other places, but like they are noticeably nicer in terms of like the edges and kind of the overall finish. And they don't charge extra for like removing the order number. Like that's just by default. They just don't even put it on the board, which is kind of nice because on other places I've used, they make you pay to remove the order number. It's not like expensive to do that, but it's just kind of stupid that they make you do that. Whereas Next PCB is just like, yeah, we'll just do that by default, which makes sense. They should just do that, especially since they're more expensive. But so yeah, we'll put that on, and then no, this should be on the other side. What am I doing here? No, that's right. That's right. So that goes there. And that would sit like that. Yeah, that's right. Okay. There we go. You see the low profile ones? Do you know where I could get the low profile sockets? Do you have any idea? Because I cannot find them anywhere. Like, I cannot find them. But, I don't know. I think that's the space network. It's really not that much higher. It's that much higher. That's how much higher it is, that difference there. I think we just raise it up. I think that's the solution. Just raise it up, and then that's it. Because that looks pretty alright. I do have 3D printed, things here. Oh, yeah, send me the part number. Maybe drop it in my Discord, or drop it in the IC channel on the 40s Discord. That's not bad. That's fine right there. I'll just raise it up 2 mils, I think. I think that's the solution. And then, I don't know why that's, like, moving, but... yeah, I think that's all that needs to be done, is just raise it up 2 mils. And then how tall is that now? Let's see. Let's see how tall we are. I mean, we're not looking at that tall. It's about 16 mils off. So that's, how far is that to the top here, though? That's the important one. About 3 centimeters, maybe? I mean, it's not that tall. I think it's all right. So we'll build this with 8mm standoffs. We'll see how it feels. So we will build it with sockets, because I am not a big fan of not socketing controllers. For a second there, I was thinking I was going to have to do it, but we're just going to use 8mm and we'll call it a day. So I think that works. So then also, even if Sadwich does send me the part number for that, I have a massive stock of these headers. I don't want to like have to deal with replacing that whole stock of those. So we'll make it work with those, what I'm trying to say, which is fine. But yeah, let's keep doing these diodes. Then we can get those controllers on it. And then we'll have a functional board, hopefully. Another thing that I scratched in this design too is that you see I had 2 buttons here. I had one for a reset and one for a Bluetooth. This board has been a lot more prototyping than like the Scotto 34. This one's been a little bit more work. But we have a battery connector here, which is nice. But then we have a reset button, which will only work on a nice Nano because RP2040 is dumb and you have to have like a circuit to reset it. So that's kind of annoying there. But, and then also this Bluetooth button, I just scratched that one too because no real sense to have like a Bluetooth reset button. So we'll just have one reset button on the next PCB. Have you ever considered using a mouse switch with 2 cables to have a button to reset the board? That's exactly what this is. I'm going to use these right there. So I'm just going to pop it in there and it will only work on the nice Nano, which is, I mean, fine, but I wanted to originally make this work with the 32U4 Pro Micro too, but the way it works out, it just doesn't really fit properly. It's just too long of a board. So, and also, I've said this a bunch, I'm trying to move away from 32U4. It's just kind of, it's ready to die. It's time for 32U4 to die, I think. RP2040 is moving forward. That's the new king. I mean, I don't really see what could be better than RP2042. Like, what could come after that, you know? I mean, what could they do to make a better board? I mean, more GPIO would be nice, but other than that, see much else. I wrote in, then you explained it. LOL. Yeah. I realized. But yeah, I don't think those are mouse switches. I mean, maybe these are mouse. Are these? Where is it? Is that a mouse switch? I don't think so. I know mouse switches are like more rectangular and easier to press. This isn't super easy to press, so it's a little bit of a harder button, but. All right. Get cracking on this. Let's like start actually building it more. In theory, I could actually get the secondary case printing right now. But I don't know if I want to deal with that right now, getting it printing. I gotta head out, but you all have been awesome. Join the Discord and can't wait to talk shop with everyone. Welcome to the Discord. Thanks for stopping by. If you're aware, I mainly do handwire stuff, but the PCBs are something I'm branching out into, so. Love the jams band. Yeah, this is Epidemic Sound, too. It's my royalty-free, or, well, monetizable music. I don't know if it's royalty-free, technically. But, yeah. That's the classic breadboard button. Bottom. Yeah, it's where I don't know where it went, but yeah. All right. Keep doing these diodes. I think there's a peel away socket that works with RP24 that would be very low profile. It works similar to mil. I have used the super low profile. It's basically if you just take like that bottom part there, that's the socket. So cut the black part off there. That's the socket. But I couldn't find those either. Like, I had a very hard time, because I looked for a while of low-profile sockets. I wanted to find these because I wanted to stock them, but I couldn't find them anywhere. It was kind of annoying. I could find on Milmax, you could kind of order them, but they had really, like, large minimum order quantities. It'd be, like, super expensive, so I didn't do that either. Is that right? Yes, that is right. But that's probably another option. But I think the simplest solution here is just raising it all up 2 millimeters. Then it works with the most common ones you can get, which are these. These are the most common ones you can get. So this board is already kind of restricted to buying from me. Obviously, it's my PCB, but also like with my PCBs, I don't make the cases where you can get them anywhere either. You have to get them through me because like all my handwire stuff is free. So I limit what you can do with my PCBs. I don't want to limit it further by saying, oh yeah, now you also got to get all the components from me too. So like basically the PCB and the case you get from me, but then you can kind of source your stuff somewhere else if you wanted to. But if I did like low profiles and stuff, it'd start limiting you more on where you can get shit. So I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that. I'm going to make it where you can just get the PCB and stuff from me. Did I get those the right direction? I did. Cool. I prefer the Milmax low-profile sockets that still fit the standard LiPo battery underneath, plus the screen over the top. Yeah, those are the ones, yeah, I get those from Typeractive. When I get my nice Nanos, I actually get those from there. But I don't know where you can source them. I might have to reach out to Nick and see if he can tell me where to source them, because they're pretty good. But, I mean, a battery will fit under these, too. Like, this, a battery will fit under that. It's a little bit taller, but just sucks how expensive those header sockets. Yeah, they are pricey. They are pricey. I mean, they're pricey to, like, stock as a shop, too. Like, there's minimums on the stuff you can order, so I can't just order, like, 10 of them. I have to order, like, a shit ton. From when I looked, at least. It's been a while, but... So, like, for one PCB, if, say, the minimum order is, like, 100 sets or something, and they're, like, $10 a set, you know? It's a lot. I need more diodes. I promise this board doesn't take this long to build either. It's just on stream. It takes longer. So I'm always like talking in between the stuff I do. I get mine from DigiT2. Not sure if same part number sandwich. Did you drop the part number? You might have did it in Discord. I didn't see a ping come through, but I don't even think I have Discord open. Yeah, I do, but I don't have pings on. I'm gonna have to look. Cause I'm curious how much those are. Not that it really matters, though, for this, because I'm just going to raise the case up and call it a day. Make it just work. How much are you on DigiKey? How much are they? If you're looking at it right now? I'm betting like probably what, like $4 or $5 a pair, something like that. Because I sell my pair of sockets for $4 on my site, just because I have to make profit on them. But if I was getting something for like $5 a set, it'd have to be a lot more expensive on my site. So it's like, that's another reason. I don't like stocking stuff that I have to mark up like insane. Getting close to having a functional board here. Well, I don't have any, I don't have the hot swaps in it yet, actually, but we'll be able to test if it works. That's my main goal. Song is kind of interesting. It's repetitive, very repetitive. Alright, I kind of want to get the controller socket. I want to test the firmware. I really want to test this, so I'm going to grab some sockets. Shit. Oh, that could have been bad. Okay, we're good. I have this big bucket I hold all my shit in, and it could have just flipped and, like, went everywhere, but it did not, so we are lucky. That was close. Okay. Let me grab this. Not get my headphones stuck in it. What the hell? There, put that there. Okay, so I need one of these. Question: if I have a split board, can the columns and rows meet in the middle, or will that make the coding funky? Do you mean a split monoblock like this? Where... Is that what you're saying? Like split monoblock? $223 Canadian per piece, so what, $350 USD per pair? That's just sockets, though. Yeah, that's a lot. I think it's more expensive if it's Canadian, but still, that's expensive. Right, let me mark these with a paint marker. Alright, so 2 of those. Where's my blade? Where's my blade? So to cut these headers, you use a blade. Just kind of go through like that. Try not to have the blade explode. There we go. We have our headers here. And then, let's go here. So we will use these. Let me use a piece of tape to hold this in while I solder it on. So here's like actually here, I can do this now. This is like a mini tutorial on how to solder headers, because a lot of people ask me questions on this. And if we zoom in here, you want to get them so they're aligned. So I use a piece of tape to kind of hold it initially. So we kind of use like tape like that. And then we'll just get one of them tacked down. So we'll get, say, this top one here just tacked onto the board. So we get tacked on. Then we can kind of position it without burning ourselves right there. So that one's tacked on, and then we do the same on the bottom. And then once you have two of those, you make sure it's aligned. So you can see it's kind of not aligned right now. So what I'm going to do actually is just kind of take it and move it over just a bit. And you can see it aligns, just like that. So you kind of have to like move it around with your iron a little bit to get it where you want. Let me turn on my fan thing. Do you know any place to buy split spacebars only? Because I'm searching for a 2.25 spacebar pair, but I just find 2.75 and 2.5 Alice. I don't know. Maybe Pimp My Keyboards will have individual keys you can get. But that's the problem with like a lot of these boards that we do on my channel, is they're kind of hard to source parts for, or well, keycaps for. But yeah, that looks good. Let's do the next set. Burnt myself. Best way to straighten the copper wire for a hand solder. You want to use a drill. So you put in a drill and then you just hold the plier on one end and twist the drill. It'll basically straighten it perfectly. It's an old trick from when I used to vape. Right, there is that. So we have those sockets on there. And then so those are on there. I've been saving my diode legs. Let's tape off my hand. Pimp My Keyboard. Pimp My Keyboard. So I've been saving these diode legs, which means I want to flash this before socketing it. I'm going to flash this before socketing it because once I get it on, it's not going to be as easy. I can remove it still. Normally, we'd do this afterwards, so you wouldn't have to worry about hitting the reset button on it. You'd have an actual button on your board, but I need to pull my code here. I should have my ScottoWing in here. PCB firmware, we have QMK, and we have Scotto.uf2. I'm going to flash Vial on this, actually. I want Vial. So we're going to put Vial on it. I want to hold my bootloader button. That should open it up perfect. Alright, let's see if that flashes. It should have flashed. Then, in theory, if I short out two of these pins, I should have a key press. Okay, I do not have a key press. How would that be? Oh wait, no, that's why. There we go. Okay, cool. So that does work. All right, so let's get this on here. Have you ever had backlight at any of your boards? I've had this for months sitting here. Eventually. Eventually is the answer to that question. Soon. Soon-ish. I just haven't been making stuff, and I gotta start making more stuff. Take these diode legs and pop these in. what I actually want to do here, because I don't want solder to splash underneath, I'm going to use a technique with Kapton tape, this type of tape here. And this will help so when they socket, the solder shouldn't splash underneath because there's like a layer in between. Hello, try to use S99 solder iron. It's better than TS100 in my opinion. Probably not. I am a dead set on the TS100. Or well, it's my mine's a TS100 or TS101. Kind of the same board, or same soldering iron, but it works for me. I don't plan on changing it. It's just kind of gonna stick with it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know? Eventually, I'll get the TS101, which is the newer version of the TS100. But, mine isn't broken, so there's no reason to. We put that on there, and then when we socket this, it will prevent solder from flowing underneath and kind of binding them together. So we'll be able to take that, and take a diode leg. Scotto, have I ever given you some dimensions to put a small hole for reflashing the kit? Yes, you did. I have those, they should be pinned in the Discord. Pretty sure. They should be pinned. But that won't work with the Pro Micro because, or well, an RP2040 Pro Micro because it doesn't have an easy way to enter bootloader mode without a circuit. So you need like a resistor in order to hit the run pin. Which is a pain in the ass that they did that, but this diode leg method is great though because like you're wasting less stuff and you can get them really low profile this way. So it's really nice. Any advice for when after you wire a keyboard the keys are misfiring? No shorts. I checked everything. It keeps happening. It could be on your controller. You could be shorting pins. It's unlikely to be firmware. It's more likely to be a short somewhere, either on the controller or the intersections, and sometimes they're really tricky to find. It could also be that you have a wire somewhere shorting it out. So say you have like a wire that's crushed and maybe shorting out on a copper piece. I've done that a few times. The only problem with this diode leg method is that the more you get in here, the more you start to stab yourself with them. And it starts to hurt. So, that's fun. Like right there, I'm trying to get this one in here, but it's stabbing me. So I guess 8mm is probably the standard anyway for height of a keyboard to PCB, maybe? I don't know, is there even a standard? I don't think there's even like a standard for that. It's just kind of whatever the designer ends up making. I guess the taller the board is, though, the more tilt you would want. This one obviously won't have any tilt. I don't like tilt, though, even on higher profile cases, though. I've done that before, and it's kind of... I don't enjoy it, so... I don't know. Okay, there's one half. I have dinner and such to make, but I'll be lurking. Thank you for the stream. Enjoy your dinner, Zach. I am actually starving right now. After this stream, I am going to go feast. That's what I typically do after I stream anyways. I go feast. Just, get hungry and work up an appetite streaming. You gotta think about it. It's like 2-3 hours of no food. I don't know. Does that make it sound like a fat ass? 2-3 hours without food and I'm starving? Does that... I mean, 2-3 hours of streaming and I'm just like absolutely famished by the end of it. Starving. Maybe I'm just hungry. Just perpetually hungry. I've only ever used headers. Do you think the diode leg thing looks worse on boards exposed to controller, no cover? It can actually look really good if you cut the wire before soldering. I'm not doing it here, but if you cut the wire before soldering, it'll actually make like a perfect little bubble over the wire, and it'll look really clean. So I think it actually looks better than having the headers. Which I think if you go on my website and look at some of my boards, I think on the... it might actually be the ScottoWing. It might be the ScottoWing hand-wired. If you search that on the blog post, you'll be able to see the wiring on there. And it should show it really cleanly because I used the same method, if I remember correctly. Just keeps stabbing me. It's like little needles dagging into my hand. You can use something like this to kind of push it in. Sometimes you can, if it wants to cooperate. That one is in my finger. Alright, I'm going to solder these and then clip them, and then I can get better access to there. This one here I put solder on, so I'm going to have to kind of like hot poke it, which is a little sketchy. I don't know if that's it or not. I'm going to actually wick that up. I got to solder suck that. That did not do anything. I hate solder sucking sometimes. Yeah, I gotta put more solder on there to actually give it more momentum to get up. So load that up, and then I should. There we go. Cleaned it right up. Perfect. There. Now I can get that in there. Just what I wanted. These RP2040 Pro Micros have additional pins up top too, which is nice, but they're additional to like a normal Pro Micro footprint, so you don't really use them on something like this if you want it to be compatible with different boards. I mean, you could add something there if you wanted to only work with this board, but... So yeah, there are those on there now. Actually grab my magnet too and clean this up first. Keep all the little sharp things where they're not going to stab me. A little dangerous magnet here. Over here. So yeah, now you can see I did these kind of messy, but they're on there now. Then what I could do, should be able to... Is this bind on there? Did it not even do what I wanted it to? Let's grab a tweezer. Did that bind? Did that not actually do what I wanted to on here? No, it didn't. It's just really tightly in there. There we go. Please give URL for your desoldering pump. I will in just a second. Let me see if I can get this out of here. I don't know if I want to take this out because I kind of use thicker legs, so they're like kind of sticking. But I'm actually worried I won't be able to get that in there. I'm leaving that in there. I don't want to mess with these legs. My method of soldering didn't even do what I wanted it to here, so I kind of have like this tape on there now, which is annoying. But I should be able to plug this in and actually get a test of a key. I should. In theory, right? Let's see. So I plug that in, and if I click here, should be able to short this out. And we have Q. Alright, it does work. Cool. So that works, which is perfect. Is there any other website for making firmware other than KB Firmware? Because I'd like to make a keyboard that has more than 60 keys and are reviewed by the teensy. Yeah, you have to compile QMK. Go on my website and go to the resources tab, and then there's like a thing on QMK in there under guides. But you want the link to my desoldering pump. Let me get that for you. Like, I've been using this one for a while. It's kind of expensive, but I've had two of them over the years. I dropped my first one a few years ago, and I actually broke it. I bent the tip of it, so don't drop it. But I also didn't have the silicone part on it. Get this, and then how do I paste this in here? Will this work? Did that work? I think that worked. Yeah, that's my desoldering pump. But I don't know why I can't get this out of here. Like, that is really, really in there. Like, that tape should have prevented it, but I think it's probably the... Oh. Okay. That was kind of dumb. There we go. I got it out. So now we can take that off. There is my little socketed controller right there. So that can just socket right back in there. Did bend the pins a little bit, but not too bad. That is the one thing about the diode leg method, is that it really, the pins are super, super fragile on it. They're just super thin. You might have to, like, do some messing with them to get them right, but should be able to just take it. To make sure I didn't break my chat plugin either when I sent that message. No, okay, good. This is not wanting to go back in. There we go. There we go. Alright, perfect. That's socketed now the way I want it to. So that can come out, that can go in. My tape did work, it was just really tightly in there. So that's working, we have that. That's all on there. Now we can continue doing our diodes because we know the firmware works. And then we can get some hot swap sockets on here. But this is going pretty good so far. Other than having to raise the whole case up, which I'm still not the biggest fan of, but it will be fine. I might even have to raise the case up that much. It might only be a little bit. It depends on how the USB port sits when I actually put this together. I'll be able to tell pretty quickly, but socketing is pretty essential, I think. But I am really excited for this PCB because, like, I've been working on this thing for a while now, and I finally got it. Like, just, I'm happy with how everything looks on it, other than that middle thing, but I think will be nice. Because the ScottoWing was actually the one I was using for quite a while there, until I built the 63, and then it will probably be the board after that I'll be using for quite a while. It's just whichever one I recently built, but I did enjoy the ScottoWing layout. Like, I thought it felt pretty good, and I'm almost curious if some of that was because it was chalk, so maybe because it was lower profile I liked it. I don't know. I'll have to see, but I don't know. I like the layout. I thought it was pretty cool. It was a good excuse to make a PCB where you can break off the column there, so we'll be able to do that if we wanted to make it a 3x5. But that was another thing on my first PCB, my Scotto 34, that was kind of like, I thought it was cool, but for making a product wasn't very cool, is that I made it a 3x5 only. So most people want their shift keys and enter keys and stuff. But Why do you think they don't use Schmidt triggers instead of diodes? Is it just because of price, or is it implemented programmatically? I have no idea. I don't do EE. I just know that diodes are cheap, and it's just kind of what they use for keyboards. So, I don't know. In the firmware, it does handle, like, the debouncing algorithms. The QMK firmware actually handles that. So if that's part of what those would do, maybe. But, yeah, I know that QMK handles a lot of the stuff. I build keyboards. I'm not an electrical engineer. You know, I know how to build keyboards. That's where I'm at, you know? I mean, I guess with the PCB stuff, it's getting more into EE, but especially once I start getting circuits on the board. But at the end of the day, keyboards are pretty simple devices. They're not very complicated. What about this version with a keyboard with a 3-thumb clusters and make one key breakaway? Possibly, but I don't really want to add a third. I could maybe add a third, like here, maybe. Let me zoom us out so we get a little bit better view there. Maybe add a third or there. I don't know, it's possible. It's not very hard to add one, but I kind of want to keep it. I like to keep my PCBs in line with the original. So this is the original here. So this one, it's not going to stray too far from that, other than it's not chalk. That's basically the only difference. So that is one thing too, is that it's a 34 key layout, which might be one negative to it, or not a 34, only a 2-thumb cluster. It's a 34 or 40 key layout, depending on how you build it. But some people might not like only having 2 thumb keys. I think it's more than enough. You have on your left hand space, Control, Command, and like Alt, which you'll use, and then your right hand you have your layers. So it's a pretty simple key map. The code's on my repo now if you actually want to look at it, but it works out pretty good. I think 34 keys is about where I draw the line. That's about as low as I can go. 33 is pushing it because you start losing like a lot more functionality. But 33 or 34 is about perfect. So that's why I rocked the Scotto 34 for so long, actually, is that I just found it really comfortable. It worked good. It was small. So it worked great for me, but just not everyone would be able to get used to that. I pretty much only use 2 thumb keys on each side, too. Yeah, it's pretty much perfect there. When I have 3 keys, I, like, bind additional things. So I'll bind, like, macros and stuff to them if I have them, but yeah. Unfortunately, in my country, there are no ortholinear keyboards in stores. I read that ortholinear keyboards improve comfort, but not typing speed. It's debatable on how much they improve comfort, really. It's all individual, too. But, typing speed, no. You might actually slow down. More than likely will slow down on them. But you'll type fast on each one as long as you get practice. It doesn't really matter, but... If you're asking, though, what I prefer ortholinear, or, like... I don't like column staggered, where the keys are offset like a normal board. I like where they're, like, staggered, like this is column staggered, so vertically like that. I don't like row staggered, where each row is different. So that's why I haven't really done those boards. And it's harder to hand wire those. So if you're hand wiring something, ortho or column staggered is way easier to hand wire than a normal thing, or a normal, like, stagger. I don't think ortholinear did anything for my typing speed in the long run, but it is more comfortable. Yeah, I switched to Colmac. I mean, I've been doing ortho for years, but I switched to Colmac, and I've actually, like, a lot slower now than I used to be. But that, I think, is a bigger comfort leap than ortholinear. If you switch to, like, Colmac or a home row focused, at least in English, a home row focused layout, you'll have a lot more comfort improvements than if you're, like, just switching the overall physical layout sometimes. I mean, of course, like, physical layouts can get better, too. If you have, like, a full ergo board, then, yeah, you could get more comfort. But I think for me personally, Colmac gave me more comfort than switching to ortho. I mean, Colmac is awesome, too, because, like, it really feels like you're rolling through the words. Like, when you type, you don't type faster always, but it feels like you're typing faster. So it's kind of nice. Because, like, I type slower than I used to on QWERTY. Like, about 20 words per minute slower. I'm like 100 to 105 in Colmac. It used to be 120 plus in QWERTY. So I'm slower, but it feels faster. I want to try switching to Colmac too. I just haven't taken the plunge yet. Yeah, if you do, do it 100% cold turkey. Just switch completely, suffer for a week or two, and then you will thank yourself for it. If you kind of do like these hybrid methods, I think it'd be a bigger pain. So I would just completely do it cold turkey if you wanted to, and just suffer for a week or two. You'll be at like 5 words per minute the first week, and then faster after that. And also, I'd recommend to don't go with like mod DH. Go with like the vanilla Colmac, unless you don't use like devices where you don't have your keyboard, because I use iPads a lot, and they don't have the Colmac. They don't have mod DH, so you can't do that. You have to use just vanilla Colmac, so that would be a problem for me. So I just stuck with vanilla. Although I would have liked to do DH, because sometimes D and stuff are a little bit annoying on Colmac, especially like G. I think that's switched too, but there are a few keys that feel a little awkward that I think DH would have helped with. But it wasn't really a choice for me because I use the iPad, so. Alright, we're about to get the last diodes on here. Then we should have a fully working board that I can actually test everything with. I'll have to put the sockets on still, but those are pretty simple. So as long as on the first prototype the keys work, that's pretty much all you care about, and then you can kind of go in and fine-tune everything else. So that's all I'm really focusing on right now, is making sure that part works. Cut those off. Alright, so there's all the diodes. Let's plug this in now, and let's make sure I have every single key that I need. So let's make sure everything works. Let's go to keyboard tester. Alright, so we'll go here, and I should be able to test my keys. When it comes to software, what are major differences, or what do you recommend? What do you mean for software? So we should have tab. Oh wait, what am I doing actually? I have Vial on this. I can just test the matrix on Vial. Why am I testing in this thing when I can just do that? Yep. Did that fine. There we go. Should be right there. Perfect. So we can go to the matrix tester. Unlock. Oh shit, how am I gonna do? I need 2 tweezers. Need to dual tweezer this shit. So I hold this one and this one at the same time, right? Okay, that's not working. So, shit. Do these tweezers not actually... Looks like my whole right side of the board... Oh, wait. Hold on. Nothing's typing now. Did I, like, do something? Hang on. What is going on? Alright, I don't know what just happened there. Let me reboot the board. Yeah, no, I was gonna say, that was weird. Alright, so that's that. That's space. So yeah, that works. Let's just go back to keyboard tester. Okay, why is that shift? Did I miss a diode? Do you use the built-in Windows thing for Colmac or just bind the keys? I bind the keys on the board. I don't use Windows Colmac. I don't even think there is a way to do it. That's B. Why is that shift? Did I... Thinking, brain processing. Let's look at our schematic here. See what we have going on in here. So we have this switch. Oh, okay. I'm dumb. I reversed them this way, so they're... Yeah. I have to switch that in firmware. We had to recompile firmware. So I'm actually going to put the board all together because I don't want to... Would this actually work if I plug it in? If I plug this in, will it go into bootloader mode? Because it should. Because I have this key here should actually hold... If I hold that and plug it in... Yeah, that works. Okay, so I do have boot magic, which is good. So we can finish this board up and then get the firmware working. So let's go back. The problem with other layouts is people who often work on someone else's equipment do not have the opportunity to add a layout. It seems that both layouts and ortholinear only add comfort. Yeah, that's a problem. If you're using shared equipment, it's going to be a pain if you have a custom layout, but let's get some sockets up this. Where are my sockets? Where did I put my big bucket of sockets? Is them? I think these are them. Alright, let's do some sockets now, and these are super easy to do. So, I probably should have put that controller on afterwards, but that's fine. The sockets are easy to solder. All you do is you grab the socket, follow your iron, and you just kind of bring it in from the side, and some solder. That's basically it. Kind of flows right into it. I'd argue these are easier than diodes because you don't have to like bend them. You just kind of put them on. They're good to go. Sometimes they can be a little tricky though, like this one's being a pain. There we go. Kind of liking this song. So then these would just pop right in. You can see with that placement of the diode, because we do have the legs there, it's perfect so it doesn't collide with the switch too. But yeah, that's on there, and then I should be able to plug this in and get a key press on that, if I got the socket right. Yep, that works. Okay, cool. So I can just go through and do all those, which is going to take, like, not very long. Do them, like, in a weird order. That's why not. We'll do them in this order. I'm going to go up to 350C. This can just be a little helpful when you're trying to do something quick like this. Ooh, that came right off. Let's not have that happen. If your socket does come off when soldering it, you want to push it back down just to make sure it sits flush. Which it can happen sometimes. Especially if you're trying to go quick. I'm also thinking about it right now. This PCB, or this board's going to be like a 1 of 1, technically, because it's the only time I'm going to have this PCB produced, because I changed a bunch of stuff on it for the actual production run. So, my board's more unique. My board's more unique due to my mistakes. Which I find kind of cool. Oh no, how much have I missed? Diodes, controller, and now I'm on the hot swaps. So, and also the sponsored segment at the beginning about some cool PCB tools from Next PCB. But this video will be a VOD afterwards if you want to watch the whole thing. But we're getting close to assembling it, and I'm basically working through all my issues with the V0.01. It says V1, it's not actually V1, it's V0.0.1 is what I'm calling it, because I'm calling the first production run is actually V1. And I do number my PCBs, which, I mean, it's unlikely that after I release one and it's all working, then I'm gonna like go back and change it, because I kind of just make them and then move on to my next project. So it's kind of funny that I do actually version them, but you never know. I could release this PCB and then decide that, oh, I do want to do a third key, so I do it and then make a V2 or whatever. You never know. It's just a good practice to version shit. Sometimes with sockets too, it is helpful if you use flux, but I'm not. I don't feel like dealing with flux fumes tonight, other than what's in my solder. What is this music now? Looking forward to watch the whole thing later. Your vid streams inspired me to build a wireless cord I'm typing on now. It's good to hear that my videos actually inspired that. To type on a corn. I'm actually, fun fact, that's the board. You probably watched the video for this one. That's the one I'm using on my stream PC down here, as I use the corn I built. What is this music? Can't tell if I like it or not. It's not terrible. Kyle, there will also be a video on this board, like an actual video. This is basically the figuring out what the hell I did wrong and what I did right with the prototype video right now. So we're trying to figure out what I did right and what I did wrong, which I did most of it right. But yeah, there's one half done. I don't know about this music. I'm kind of vibing with it. It reminds me of SMB2. What is SMB2? It looks familiar, that acronym, but the music says that you need to speed up. I'm going as fast as I can, alright? If I was doing this without a stream, I would have been done by now. Like, for sure, would have been done by now. But on stream, I am never done within an hour or two. It's always a long time. Super Mario Brothers? Oh, Smash Brothers 2, probably. Smash Brothers? Super Mario Brothers? I don't know. One of those, I'm betting. There's those. My desk is such a wreck right now too. No matter what I work on, if it's a simple, relatively simple PCB like this, or a hand-wired board, my desk is just a wreck by the end of it. Like, it's inevitable. No matter what I do, my desk is just a wreck. Maybe because I'm not the cleanest worker when I'm working on stuff like this. I just gotta throw shit everywhere as I do it, and then I deal with it at the end. At the end, I'll just kind of sweep everything on the floor and clean it. How late am I? Dr. G! It's been a long time. Long time since I've streamed and since I've seen you. You're probably about 2 hours? Are we 2 hours in? Where's my time? Hour 34. I'm going to consider you late. Consider Well, there is no late to a stream. It's just whenever you see it. And YouTube does a shitty job at pushing my streams out. That's why I like broadcast them in so many different spots, because YouTube just... Some streams I'll get a ton of people that hop on, and other ones, I'll get, like, no one hopping on them. It just kind of depends on how YouTube is going to push it that night. But it is also a Friday, so, like, Friday night might not be the best time for a stream. I mean, people go on and stuff on Fridays. Am I melting plastic right there? I don't think so. I don't even know if you guys can see that, but... Arska, your name is, like, glitching out the thing. It's kind of funny. It's like... I'm seeing half of it. I had trouble. Trouble, you say? Trouble. Well, if you want to hear Mr. G, I almost called you Mr. G. Dr. G, the trouble we're having here is that I have to change to 8mm standoffs instead of 6 in order for it to fit properly in the case. So that's my trouble that I am having. But I mean, that will work. It's just going to be a little bit taller, so it's not a big deal. I did get a notification from YouTube for the stream, so they're sending some at least. Yeah, it didn't seem to pop off super heavy at the beginning of the stream, which was... I don't think YouTube sent them like they normally do, or maybe didn't send them all. Because I only had like 12 people at the beginning. Normally it's like 20, 25-ish, I think. I spent a long time since I streamed, so I don't remember, but... It's been like over a month and a half since I've done a video. So that's, I gotta get on that. You know, like, the live streaming is cool and all, but the videos are the bigger thing for my channel. From, like, a viewership standpoint, videos are king. Like, lives don't come anywhere near, like, what those do, so I gotta get more videos up, but I have a few in the pipeline I'm working on right now. To me, it's Saturday. Anyway, I don't have a phone anymore, so notifications, RIP. RIP. Yeah, that no phone life. That's RIP. So the solution to that is just keep my channel open 24/7 on your computer and just wait. Where will these PCBs be available when you finish the design on your site? Yeah, they'll be available on my site. I think the price I set was going to be $35 for the PCB kit and then $30 for the case. So yeah, about $70. I estimate about $70 for the full board, but that's like free shipping too. If you're in the US, other places it changed it a little bit, but yeah. So they will be available on my site. If you want to, you can go to my site and scroll to the bottom and sign up for the newsletter, because I'm going to actually email people when they're out. I'm estimating in probably about 2 weeks when I get the final boards in, because this is the prototype board still. So, kind of miss your stream, not going to lie. Yeah, I miss streaming too. I just haven't been doing it. You probably saw on my social media, I got a dog, Dr. G. So, I've kind of been preoccupied and distracted with him. Because obviously, when you get a dog, what are you going to do? Not play with your dog? So, keyboards have kind of been on the back burner. Well, I've been playing with my dog, but now that he's getting older, I kind of being able to actually do stuff again. Or he's becoming more part of my life now, and not like, I don't want it to sound bad, but the newness of the dog is wearing off a little bit. You know, like I can do some stuff now, and not be like, oh, I want to go play with my dog. Oh, I want to play with my dog. So, you get what I'm saying. But I think Sadwich, I just got the notification of Sadwich, if Sadwich is still here, but the DigiKey things he said. Alright, I have a feeling I'm gonna, like, miss one of these sockets, because I'm, like, soldering them in a very strange order. Like, going side to side with them. Let's see. We'll see what happens. Right, 2 more sockets, and then we have a fully assembled PCB. Well, I do have to put a button on there. I don't know if I'm going to put the button, actually. I don't do anything on this board. They literally are for the nice nano version, so... Sweet board. Thank you. I am excited for it to be done and, like, actually in production. because it's kind of in a weird state right now. This is the prototype. If you're just tuning in, this is the prototype. The real one is going to be a little bit different. Not in terms of design, but in terms of some placement, some decisions on some stuff that I had to fix because I messed them up on this one. So yeah, there's all those. Those are all on. I think we have the fully assembled board now. That should be everything. So we can actually start doing now is getting the plate and the switches on, but let's put these standoffs on first. So I am switching to 8mm standoffs for this, which works out kind of better in terms of like stock on my website, because the 8mm is what I stock for my like hand wired boards. So 8mm, 8mm works out fine. It's not, I'm looking on the bright side now, all right? Like, it's going to be about 2mm thicker than I wanted it to be, but I am fine with that. If it works, it works. That's all that matters. And 2mm really isn't that much, right? 2mm isn't a lot. That's not a big difference, I don't think. So I think that's fine. I think that's not a big deal. I don't know if I didn't say anything on it too. I should have said this. I'm going to drop it in the chat. Let me grab it. I wanted people to fill out the IC for this board because I have an interest check running for it, and I'm trying to gauge like what I should prepare for in terms of like the cases and stuff, or what configuration people are going to do. So let me send this. Let me copy this. I'm going to paste this. If you guys could fill this out, I'd be thankful. It's just a little Google Forms. Will there be a power reset pad for nice nano builds? Yes. So this here, this reset runs up to the nice nano pads, and I can actually show you if I switch to my screen. So there's my Google thing. This is the actual board, the one that I'm going to produce. So we have this right here. It runs up to these pads, so you'll be able to reset it if you're running a nice nano. So it will be able to do that. The problem I had is that I had to basically make it a little bit taller because I'm using the sockets. So I didn't like that at first, but now I'm kind of fine with it. So it's not a big deal. But yeah, it's about 2mm taller than I wanted, which doesn't sound crazy. It's not really crazy. Like, it's not that much taller, but you know, I kind of got set on I wanted to be this height, and then now it's a little bit taller. So whatever, not a big deal. Where are my screws? Is that a 4mm? I'm screwing these in without any screwdriver too. I'm just kind of going for it. What's the matter with the standoffs? So I wanted to use the 6mm ones first, and also Dr. G, just in case you ask. My arm is meat grindered for my dog, so. But yeah, so we have the 8mm ones there, and then these are the 6mm. If I use the 6mm, when you put it in the case, the USB port, so if I put this in here, the USB port would be too low and you wouldn't be able to connect it. So that's why I had to switch to 8mm. It's not a massive deal. It's just I wanted it to be a little bit lower profile, because if we look at the original ScottoWing here, it's like non-existent low profile, but it's also chalk. So I kind of have to keep that in mind. The original was chalk switches, so it was low profile because of that too. It wasn't just the case. And also the PCB one doesn't have 10 million screws everywhere, which is kind of nice. It only uses 8 screws, which is better than 10 million screws like the old one. I don't want to use these screws. I'm gonna have to dig into my box over here and get the longer screws, unless I have. Do I have more here? I don't, do I? Shit. So we have those on. Regarding the controller height, could you remove some of the case material from the bottom of the USB hole to keep it? No, because the case here, it's only 1.6 mils thick here. If I went any thinner than that, it's just too thin. So, yeah, it's kind of where I'm at with it. So I have to raise it up, and it's not a big deal. It really isn't. Like 2mm isn't a lot. It's just that in my OCD head, I got set on the height I had, and now I have to raise it up 2mm, and I'm just, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just gonna accept it. It is what it is, alright? It's fine. So, I could make it, so the other thing too is I could make it work with the 6mm ones, right? I could make that work, but I'd have to like then limit it further in terms of like where you can get standoffs for it and stuff like that. And I don't want to do that because it's already limited where you can only get it from me. And like, I mean, obviously that's my product. That's one thing there, but I don't want to further limit it. Oh, you need these specific standoffs now. You need these specific headers and this specific this. So it's kind of, it's just one of those things that's not worth it to kind of dig deeper into, but not from the whole bottom, just make the area around the controller's USB port. I could cut that out. Maybe. Could do that. I'm gonna investigate that. I'm not gonna investigate all that on stream because I don't want to. I mean, I don't know if you guys would be bored with it, but I don't want to do all my investigative shit on stream because I kind of have to like do it off stream, I guess, to figure it out because it's gonna be a lot more. But at this point, what I'm gonna do is this is where it becomes the ScottoWing. Is with this here, where we have the actual thing here. The plate. So yeah, actually, now you're mentioning that, the plate here has this cutout, and I did, so it kind of can accommodate these pins here, but let's start getting these switches in. I'm going to actually do them on this first. And also, something cool about this board that I did is I'm doing south-facing switches, just because that will make sure that there's no, like, interference with cherry keycaps. Because I know some people want to use cherry keycaps, and that will solve that problem, so they can use cherry keycaps. Why is that switch not going in there? Can I block this socket somehow? That would be why. Right there. Look at that pin on that. That thing's bent completely. Let's get a different switch. These are T1 tactiles, by the way, which I think if you saw my last stream on the sponsor stream, my last one I did that was sponsored, basically, I got these for like $13 on Amazon. I got them for like a really good deal. That socket is giving me a pain for some reason. Why is it bending all my switches? Oh, it just popped off. Did I just lift that pad? What the hell? What is going on with that? Let's take a look. I don't know what was wrong with that pad. Why do they keep bending these? I like tactile. Yeah, I like tactiles too. It's just these ones are a little bit weird. They're a little bit of a weird tactile. I mean, they're fine. Yeah, that was weird. That wasn't in there good. Odd. I don't know what was up with that, but it's fine now. So pop these in. Let me also fix all these. I bent some of them. Yeah, so part of the thing actually, O2 with the cables, this is the case I'm using now. Where'd I put my other one? Should have another one around. Yeah, it's buried under stuff, but, so we have, this was the original one. The cable wouldn't actually get through, so I made the cutout bigger, and now the solution might actually be making the cutout bigger yet again. So we'll see if that has to happen. Did you answer my question? Oh, I didn't see. What was your, did you have it in... Grez's, did you have, like, you're doing a monoblock like this, right? Monoblock like this split? There we go. That's coming together now. Okay, a lot of these are like screwy with these sockets because I did them so fast. So if you're doing a split where it's one controller, you can connect them over the halves. Like, that's what you should be doing. So if you're like, if you have two halves like this, you want to connect them in the middle, you can connect these to the pin. You can connect a wire from here to the pin and then this one to the pin, and it'd be fine. So that is definitely what you could do. I'm going to do something different here. I'm going to pull this off. These sockets, I did them so fast, I probably shouldn't have done them as fast as I did. Because it's causing me some issues with them seating in here now. Like this one here is giving me an issue. Let's test them and see which ones are good. That one's good. That one isn't good. That one's lifting. Oh, that one's not even soldered down, actually. I knew I would miss one of these going that fast. Okay, that's what it is. They're actually not seated. I have to push them. This one's not seated either. Okay, that one's good. That one is not good. What the hell is up with these sockets? So it looks like I'm gonna have to reseat a bunch of these. That pin's completely out too. Alright, let's see now. This should just slot right in, right? Yeah, that goes in. That's fine. That one right there. Like, why would that not go in? That's fine now, right? Yeah, these sockets are giving me a real hard time. I don't know why they are, because like if you look at it, it's completely clear. Like the socket itself is clear, but the switch itself is not going in. It just doesn't. It's refusing to go in. Maybe it's not over right. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why that's not going in there. I think that might be a broken socket, actually. Weird. I don't know. That one's giving me a hard time. I'm gonna have to look at it. Let me just try the rest of them. Joe getting third-degree burns live. No burns yet. I probably just jinxed it by saying that, but... Joe getting mad at hot swap because solder is just reliable and hot swap for some reason is not reliable. I don't... Like, these aren't going in. Is it these switches? Are these switches just stupid? No, it's not the switches. That is weird. These hot swap sockets are not socketing. Did I get a bad batch or something? Oh, wait, am I dumb? Hang on. I might be dumb. I think I might have put them in upside down. Yeah, I'm dumb. I did not know this because I've never, believe it or not, never done hot swap with Kale sockets. So if we look here, see how there's that, I think, if we look here, logo's upside down, and then you see how it's not upside down? I think that has something to do with it. I think so. Let's see if we can figure this out. Let's desolder one of these. Alright, so let's try to get this one off here. For anyone in the chat, do they have orientation or not? Do sockets have them? Like, do they go only one way? Because it's gonna be a pain in the ass if they do. Yeah, I've only done chalk sockets, so I've never done kale ones, but it seems that all the ones I put in one way are working. The ones I did the other way are not working. Yes, all right, thank you, Kyle. Yeah, so it looks like I'm a big dum-dum, and I'm just gonna have to... Jesus, splash solder almost all over my face, but other than that... See, this is why we prototype. This is why we prototype, okay? Because when you prototype, you figure out when you're a dumbass or not. So, what I have just discovered is that I am, in fact, a dumbass, and they have a way to go, and I'm gonna have to flip fucking 20 sockets now, I think. So sit back, enjoy the ride. I'll be here for a while. Alright, that was close to getting burnt right there. That was pretty fucking close. Alright, so now in theory, if this is right... In theory, let's see. Let's see if this is truthful or not. Why, look at that. It goes right in. Okay, so today we learned that sockets have a correct way to go. They have a... Yeah, shit. This is gonna be annoying. So we have to flip this one, this one, this one. There's a lot we have to flip. There are a lot. There are a lot. Wait, these ones are actually looking all good on this side. There's only 2 upside down on this side, so this is actually easier side to fix. So I'll start with this one. Just don't want to splash solder all over, because I did that one time and it almost, like, got everywhere. See if this thing will work good. Yet chalk being reversible would make sense because I've soldered quite a few chalk hot swap sockets and I've never had this issue. So this is why we prototype, though. You learn this stuff, so now I know when I sell this board to tell people, make sure you get the sockets right, or you'll be like me and be big dum-dum and have to desolder a shit ton of them. And desoldering these is not very fun because they come off because they're surface mounted. You have to kind of then lever it off. Oh no, not really. That came off. That was good. So yeah, then we can just flip them around. So I guess it does make sense though, because you can kind of see. Let me see if I can see it here. Oh yeah, yeah, you can see. That's okay. So if we look at this one, where's my tweezer? So like, you can see how the circle's there, but this one, it's blocking it. So that's actually, okay, that makes sense. It's not pushing in because of that. So we just have to flip it. That's not the biggest deal. You know, honestly, this beats hand wiring a mess up anyway, because a hand wire mess up is a lot more in depth than this. So this is not as in depth as a hand wire mess up. But it is still a pain in the ass. I will say that. Still a pain in the ass. Look at that shard it makes when you desolder stuff. So welcome to the Scotto desolder stream. This PCB is kind of holding up to a beating, too, which is actually good. I don't know what TG rating they use on the next PCBs, but it's holding up, which is good. Because I am, like, really beating on these pads right now to, like, get these desoldered. So I haven't lifted one yet. I hope I'm not speaking too soon right now, but so far it's been pretty decent. Mistakes happen when doing this stuff. I snapped the power switch on the main shield type reactor PCB when I tried to fit it into my first case. Yeah, I've done that with stuff. Snapping switches off. Because, like, they fit at the weird angle, and then if you can't get it in, it's just, like, pain in the ass. So that's also RIP. But, did you snap the pads off? Because if you didn't snap the pads off, that's not a big deal. You just put a new one on, but if you snap the pads, then that is, ouch. So there's that half fixed. I just broke the plastic slider. Okay, I guess you could probably still use it then, right? You could probably still, like, move the thing, I would assume. Down. I mean, it's not the end of the world anyway if you do break off a power switch on a wireless board, because ZMK has deep sleep. So, like, you don't necessarily need the power switch. It's just a nice thing to have. Like, I don't really run power... well, this board will have a power switch, but... fuck. We did just lift a pad. We just lifted a pad. I did speak too soon. We lifted a pad, but... I might be able to salvage this. Let's see. If I am able to... So the thing I do with these PCBs is that I plate my holes here, right? I plate these, meaning that I could solder to that if I need to. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to I'm going to do something janky. I'm going to do something really janky. I can rip these off, and then I can just solder to that. So like this one here, I can't do it yet, but I'll be able to solder to those pads. This looks so painful. Yeah, this is prototyping right now. This is like very very V0.0.1. But this is why you do this, is so you can figure all this stuff out and then you fix it in the next revision. I mean, this is actually not the PCB's fault. This is my fault for soldering these on upside down like a dumbass. If I didn't do that, I would not be dealing with this right now. These tweezers are not gripping. Can they just grip it for me, please? Why are they not gripping that? There we go. That one came off. I don't know if this might become a 2-day build. It's getting late now and I'm like getting tired, but we're almost there. I mean, we just have to flip this one, this one. There's still a lot to flip. Jesus, there's a lot here. Maybe I can use this as an excuse. Yeah, not to be build, but skill issue rather than... No. That is not rude at all. This is skill issue. This is 100% skill issue. This is me not knowing how the hell to solder on Kale sockets, because this is what happens when the handwiring guy becomes the PCB guy. But, yeah, I need to desolder this one. such a pain to get off. A little disappointing I ripped that one pad off, but like I said, I'm lighting these up with solder. There's a lot in these. There we go. I mean, that one might be salvageable. Is that salvageable, you think? Can I, like, glue that on somehow? Will that solder to it? Let me see. Let me see what I can do there. Yeah, I don't know if that's salvageable or not. I don't think so. So, I'm considering ending this stream and then doing another one again. Flux is our friend, not food. No flux. I refuse. Don't need it. That was a good desolder. Every once in a while with the desoldering pump, you'll get a really good one that's just like, oh yeah, that's perfect. Comes right off. Alright, here's what I'm going to do because I'm determined to get this working. I am going to take a, like, 5-minute break to get a snack, and then we're going to keep working. So I will be back in, like, 5. Don't go anywhere. Alright, so I just realized something as I got my snack. Here's my snack. I'm eating these, like, they're from the China market. They have, like, pumpkin sesame thing. That's something I got to eat here, but I was looking on my phone, and it never sent the notification in Discord for the stream. So, like, that's why at the beginning of this, there was basically no one here, because it never notified anyone on Discord. Thanks, Discord. Or it's actually not Discord, it's the bot didn't send it. So, yeah, I might pop in everyone in here. I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna pop in everyone that I'm live right now. See if we can get some more people in here right now. So let's see. YouTube. We did it. Because this makes me mad. This makes me mad that it didn't notify everyone. So, like, I'm just here, and, like, no one got a notification. So, sad. Rip. Okay. Alright. So that's why I just had to notify everyone. So, like, just playing my sound again. I'm gonna send it manually, and it might actually double send it. There, I sent it. It's just everyone. It's so stupid that it didn't. It didn't send that. Oh my god. All right. So what do people say? All right. I got a YouTube notification. I didn't even have the bell, but yeah. So YouTube notified everyone. Discord, because normally I have Discord pop off, and I have 1,000 members in my Discord, so I'll have people from there join, and like, yeah. If you're not in the Discord and you are just here from YouTube, I'll down in the description. Join my Discord. I don't know. If you're not in there, you should be in there. But yeah, let's actually get to building this thing. I'm going to have a little bit of my pumpkin sesame pumpkin flavor snacks. It looks weird, but it's actually good. And crunchy. So yeah, let's continue fixing my dumbassery here. These things are, like, super, super greasy, too. They have, like, they're made with, like, sesame oil. They actually upset my stomach a bit. Like, they make me feel, like, kind of sick, but they're kind of good. They're, like, kind of good, but also kind of not the greatest. But, yeah, they're, like, really, really, really oily, like, super oily. So, yeah, all right. Let's see what we got here. So we want to continue desoldering. We are in the adventure of desoldering everything, because I am a big dum-dum. So let's do this one. I mean, we're not desoldering everything, but a lot. We're just desoldering a lot. I see the stream program, but no notification for the actual start. Yeah, it never notified on Discord, is basically all that didn't happen. And also, don't eat while you fondle with solder. Fondle with solder and stuff. Yeah, no, I'm gonna die of early death from the solder poisoning or the lead poisoning. I just went upstairs and I had a snack, and I realized I was eating without washing my hands with the solder on them. So, that's, yeah, not good. It is what it is, alright? We build keyboards. Come on, get off there. God. Wait, if YouTube says that you started streaming 2 hours ago, why did I just get... Alright, so hello, people. Alright. So, people that are joining from my Discord now. Discord never notified everyone, so I manually dropped a notification in there to notify all of you. So, yeah. I've been streaming for 2 hours, but, yeah, now we're in here, so, yeah. Use leaded solder. Yes, it is better. I will fight to the death on that. There are actual, like, facts about this. I don't feel like talking about them all right now, because I'm kind of, like, in my middle of... I'm a dumbass, alright? For people joining now, I'm a dumbass, and I did not know that for Kale sockets, they have an orientation. So you can see that this one is upside down. It's blocking the center hole. This one isn't. So I would get into why leaded solder is good, but I want to fix this. I'm so close to having a functional board that, yeah. Sorry I heard you say that. What, the leaded solder? Yeah, no, I love leaded solder. I mean... having lead is bad, yes, but it just works better. So, you know, I accept the lead. I embrace the lead, and I just deal with it. It's just how it is. In a second, I will get my pumpkin snack stick. Because I want some more pumpkin snack stick For those of you tuning in, pumpkin snack stick that's very, very, very oily. Well, also crunchy. Lead is great. Makes the paint chips from my wall taste better than newer paint chips. Yeah, you know, back in the old days, they had a way to them of, you know, adding more flavor to stuff, right? You know, the lead, what was that stuff they used to put in the ceiling? Asbestos, you know? They used to have a way of just making stuff more flavorful, you know? So, I don't know why they ever stopped. It probably was all the, like, death that was caused by it, but, you know, it shouldn't stop anyone from flavor. Flavor Town. This one needs to go in there. I don't know if my international people would get Flavor Town, because that's kind of a... Maybe is that an American joke? Is Flavor Town an American joke? I feel like that is. Guy Fieri. Fieri? Whatever he is. Dude that eats everything. I want to touch this with my lead hands. There we go. Look at that cigar. After I chew, I'll answer that, Astrum. So off to my right, I do have one. I have a big old HEPA filter. And it's not the lead that's actually bad. The lead is from ingesting it, so, like, yeah, I'm kind of breaking that rule a little bit right now, eating at the workstation, but the fume extractors for the flux fumes. The flux fumes are actually worse for you. Like, lead doesn't... I don't think the lead breaks down until really, really high temperatures. I think it's, like, 800 Fahrenheit or Celsius or something. But, yeah. So, I'm not too worried about the fumes. Like, ever since I put my fume extractor in, I feel so much better when soldering. Like, I don't suffocate anymore. But, it's the worry with lead is eating it, so you just want to wash your hands afterwards. That's mainly the issue with it. And of course, like, ecosystems and stuff like that, but I'm producing keyboards in my basement. I'm not making enough where, like, that's going to impact anything. You know, I'm not throwing these out and stuff. They're staying at my house. Maybe one day it'll be a problem when I have 1,000 boards and I die, and 100 years from now I'm dead and my boards are in a landfill, but I hope that's never the case, and I hope they don't end up in a landfill. Alright, I think we are... Are we good? I should be able to hold this up and see through. I think we're good. So yeah, we can start getting the actual switches in now. Serious question, is realistic any way you get enough lead to be dangerous on your hands and ingest it from what you're doing now? Right now, I mean, I'm not medical or science or anything, but right now, probably not. It's over time, it like builds up. I think that's the problem. And I don't typically eat enough when I'm like soldering. I typically wash my hands too, so I'm not too concerned about it. But it is possible. It is possible from like dealing with lead and solder that you do get enough in your system that you can cause a problem. It is possible. Like, that's not impossible. So it's always better to be cautious. But yeah. It's worth having to take extra safety precautions, even though I kind of ignored them right now, but still. So we'll get these in here, start getting these in. Yeah, no, like, lead is, it's one of those things, it builds up, right? The bigger thing to be worried about shorter term would be the flux, especially if you had asthma. The flux is really bad for you. That's actually what you see fuming off, is the flux, because solder is flux cord. So that's what you're seeing fume off. It's not lead. Like, there's not lead particles really in the air. It has to be a really high temperature for that to happen, and that's not happening here, so... Alright, so we are getting a board, though. It's actually happening now. We are about to have a functional board. I mean, it's functional now. It's just we're about to have an actual working functional board with switches in it and beautifulness. And this plate is, I haven't decided if the plate I'm going to sell on my site is going to be 3mm or not. I might do it thinner, but this is 3mm. So, yeah, this is 3mm, which should do something for the sound, in theory. A lead well. Yeah, that's actually, that happens up here sometimes in upstate New York, because there's a lot of, like, well systems and stuff, people that aren't connected to the grid. So you hear about that every once in a while. But that's, yeah. How do you cure that? I don't know how they do it. I think they, lead poisoning is like a thing. You go to the hospital and they do something for it. I think it's your kidneys. I think it's actually your kidneys. Like roast your kidneys or something. But actually, no, if your body doesn't remove it. Yeah, if your body doesn't naturally remove it, then the kidneys aren't going to remove it. So, yeah, not good. Right, look at that. We're getting a board here. Let's go. I am going to have to solder in that one switch in the top left. So we're going to, like, really solder that one in there because I have the plated holes. But other than that, we'll be fine. Now, what I would say on the topic of lead, though, right now, actually, if you were going to worry about something, all this stuff here, like, that's powdered lead, basically. That is what is a little riskier, because those are bigger chunks. So, that I would worry more about. But I do have to fix the firmware for this, too, which isn't a big deal. It's pretty easy, actually, but I will have to do that. Kind of really vibing with this song right now. Wish I had a printer that could do multi-material printing easy. You could actually, this design here, you could do something like this on an ender. You don't really need multi-material for this. Basically just pause it and start a different print with the secondary color. But it does make it easier having a printer that does multi, because I don't have to do that. I just press it and it does it. Press print and it prints. But like something simple like this, you definitely don't need a multi-material printer. Just makes life easier as well. Alright, last few switches. Do you wire up your ground pins with routes or a copper zone? I don't have a ground zone at all in here. I just completely send them to the ground pin. You can use your fill zone though, if you wanted to. There's no real reason to, though. You don't need to. At least for a keyboard. Like, keyboards are so simple, you don't have to worry about that too much. Why don't you use the Chinese Nice Nano? Way cheaper, same MCU. I don't use that because, one, I know Nick, the guy who designed it. I don't, like, know him personally. I just know him from, like, online, the keyboard world stuff. But, that's the one reason I know him, and so he designed the original. I don't want to do that. But also, it's a ripoff of it. So, like, that's the whole reason. It's a ripoff of the real Nice Nano. And the Nice Nano wasn't open source. Like, it wasn't open source of the schematic, so they basically ripped them off. And it uses more power, too, because it uses, like, a cheaper design. But we have the board here now. We have this. I do want to put that last switch up top. So this is going to be really, really janky here. Yeah, exactly what Astrom says. So you can see we have these massive pins there. We're going to just solder to that. It's going to be... All right, let's see if we can do this. Let's see. Let me see if I can punch us in here even closer. Oh, it's actually not as janky as I thought it would be. It's not terrible. It's not horrible. Do I love it? No. But will it work? Yes, it will, because I ripped off the pad for that one hot swap. Like a dumbass. But that will definitely work. I mean, that will 100% work right there. So yeah, that is fine. I am totally fine with that. That works. Okay, cool. Alright, so yeah, let's get some firmware going now. Let's just fix up the firmware. So all I have to do for this is, I should just switch the pins, right? Should be pretty simple. I don't think this is going to be a very complicated firmware fix. I just have to reverse the, let's copy this. We'll go to my QMK firmware folder. Uh, 99% hot swap. Yeah, it's basically it's almost hot swap. It's just I'm a big dummy. I'm a big dum and I didn't do that one switch right. So yeah, hot swap with a surprise. Yeah, there you go. So what we have to do is we have to reverse these. So if we look here on my schematic, you can see that I have these pins. So I have to go from D21. So D21 onward is what needs to reverse, right? D21, which is, well, it's 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's these. GP20. GP22. GP26. GP27. This is 28. Yeah, and then GP 29. GP 29. Hey, there's all my viewers, because it never pinged Discord. How's it going, people that are hopping in here now? Because my Discord bot is dumb and didn't want to ping you guys. So here I am sitting here thinking that, oh, all my viewers hate me, because I had like 7 people at the beginning, or 9 people. I was like, oh. And I realized that it never pinged you guys. CPQ firmware. I want to make Scotto keys, ScottoWing, Scotto. All right, let's compile. We'll be able to flash this with bootloader mode, or the smart bootloader mode, whatever it's called. Boot magic, that's the word. Let me eat my lead infused thing here carefully. All right, don't touch it. Just don't touch it with my hands. Okay. Okay, we have firmware now. We also have crunchy. So I should be able to take this now. I can hold the button and plug it in. That will put it into bootloader mode. Perfect, we have bootloader mode. Take our firmware, pop it in, click OK. Is that a bash shell? This is WSL for Windows, so Windows subsystem for Linux. And there we go. We have a fully functional board. Let's go. We have it. It is working. Here, I'll show this real quick. This is WSL, so I'm basically running Linux on Windows, and it's how I can run QMK without having to deal with MSys, because MSys blows. It's dog shit. So I'm going to have a video on this eventually, but we'll talk about that a different day. For now, let's get this ready to go in the case. So yeah, we have the board there. It is functional. I didn't test my janky key. Let me test my janky key. That should work as tab. Yep, it works. Okay, everything works. Let's pop it into the case. Put this in here. And you can see this case is just a little bit too short because of that, the 8mm. I mean, it's not really, it's not, it's fine. It's not bad. It's not bad with those. I will accept it. These standoffs align too. Everything aligns, it looks like. So, let's grab my screwdriver. take some screws. Those are not the ones I want. I want... Where did I put them? Are they? Here it is. 4 bill. Yeah, no reset button on this or anything like that. It's just pretty simple because it's the prototype. My screwdriver just died right now. This stream is going great. We rip off some hot swap sockets. We reverse a bunch of them. What else did we do wrong here? Had to change the design of it. I mean, that is why it is titled Prototype Build. Prototype Build. It is not the final build because this was where I figured out what I did wrong and then had to fix it. Because my Scotto 34 too, I never did any of this. There wasn't an issue with that though. That one was simpler, but there was stuff I did have to fix in terms of design and stuff afterwards. But did you get the case printed from the same place you got the PCB? No, this was printed on that behind me. This was printed on my bamboo. Let me flex it. There. I mean, it's beautiful. My printer does a very good job. This is the case you would be getting. It's going to be a little bit different. But the PCBs I got from Next PCB, and I gotta say, I am pretty impressed with them. They are more expensive. Like, this stream is sponsored by them. They sent me the PCBs, and they're also giving me, like, store credits so I can get some stuff afterwards. I'm going to actually probably order the PCBs from them. But, yeah, I'm actually impressed with their PCBs. Even though they're more expensive than some other shops, they actually seemed a little bit better quality, and they have some options that other places don't have, as well as at the beginning of the stream, I showed the DFM tool, which is a tool you can use to kind of confirm your PCB can be produced. It's actually very useful, and it's free. So if you make PCBs, check that out, because it's a free tool you can use on there and just double check that your PCB will actually work when it goes to get manufactured. But yeah, with that, what we're going to do now, flip this back over. Looks pretty cool. Let's grab my keycaps, which I did right here. So I have a bunch of these, which we can put these on the bottom. Oh yeah, we're getting there now. I have to make sure I get the right, because these have that. They have like a texture on them, and I like to put that at the back. It does look funny right now. I know this because it's just a little too shallow. I have to change that in design, but that's not a big deal. That is easy enough to fix, and I think it... Oh yeah, that's fine. That is way, way low. But the pads broke. The pad was my fault. That was not Next PCB's fault. I was putting a shit ton of heat into that, and then I was yanking on it. When you're doing that with any pad, that's a chance you run. Like, that's a risk you run with them. So I wouldn't blame them for that. That was me. So, yeah, me too. I put the bed texture forward. Oh, you put it forward? I put it towards the back. I put the texture back that way. I like these keycaps too. Like, I actually prefer them over DSA profile. Maybe that's just because I designed them. Maybe that's why. But I do like them. I do enjoy them, and you can see just how smooth they are. They're very, very smooth. I mean, you can't really tell on there because they're white. It's one of the harder colors to show on a video, but it's coming together now. This is when I start getting excited. This is when I start getting excited with a build, because like all that work, all that pain and soldering and screwing up the sockets because I'm a big dummy, it starts to come together now, and it's like, oh yeah, this is when you start to see the product, you know, like, this is my product that I'm going to be selling. Like, it's pretty cool when you make something and then it comes out and it works, and you figure out you have to fix other shit, but it's just kind of how the game works. Got a prototype to figure out what you did wrong. But yeah, I think that kind of answers my solution though with the 8mm standoffs. I mean, that works. That definitely works. That's how tall it will be. That's the side profile. I did decide to do it this way. I might make the case full size, maybe high profile. I don't know. I haven't fully decided on that yet either. What do you guys think? Do you think I should do full where it covers up to this spot, or should I leave it like the original where it is exposed? Because the original, it was exposed. I think it might be better on this one. That's kind of why I did that, is that it matches the original. And I feel like it might have been too tall if I did it the other way, so I don't know. Have you made the model for those keycaps available, or do you sell them? If you go on the repo and then go to the extras folder, they're in there. They're the Scotto caps scooped. So they're in the extras folder. Yeah, I didn't click that switch in all the way either. That's going to be a pain to fix, so I'm just going to leave it. That is one thing you want to watch when you're doing a build like this. You want to get the switches all the way in. Like it as it. That's what I thought. I thought the exposed switches was kind of cool. Yeah, it makes it a little bit faster to print too, but not by much. I mean, it's like only another 3 millimeters, so it's not that big of a difference. Now, the plate, I might switch to 1.5. I might, because this isn't a hand-wired board. You don't really need rigidity on the plate so much, because it has the PCB to back it. So that would also allow me to print them a little bit quicker. And it might help with some of the issues of a 3D printed plate, like them not clicking in all the way. But this is the fully assembled board now. So, my printer does ledges pretty decent. I mean, but it is a bamboo. Yeah, that feels pretty good. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this over here off stream. I want to clean this up really quick so we can actually get a typing test. And then I have my pumpkin stick thing here. Lead. So I did mention this too, is that I am going to do a video on... I'm going to do a video on the full board once it's finalized. Obviously, for like marketing reasons too, I want a video, not just a live stream. But, yeah. For now, his caps are the latest Scotto Farmer suite with the printed legends. Yeah. I print legends on a lot of my stuff now. Those are the flat caps if you want to go on the repo. They'll be under the flat folder. But, put this off to the side. Such a mess right now. Such a mess. Bamboos have honest prices. Yeah, I don't think... The price for my bamboo is... It was $1,000. It was a grant, basically, for the AMS and the P1S combo. I think for what you get, it is very fair. It is very fair because the shit just works. It just works. I barely use my enders at this point. And it pains me to say that because I love my enders. I put a ton of work into them, but the bamboo just works. So... do you use bamboo instead of resin? So resin, I use resin for keycaps sometimes, but resin brings the issues of resin. If it's messy, you need biocompatible resin if you want to do keycaps, because if you're not aware, resin is a contact sensitizer. It will cause problems if you use it on like skin contact. So you really have to use a special type of resin. And it's just messy. It's just a pain in the ass with how messy it is. So it kind of, a lot of the time, will turn me away from it because it's just, I don't like dealing with the mess. And lots of free lead. So let's put this over here. Been going for 2.5 hours on the stream. Not bad. But we're getting close to typing test after I clean up this absolute mess I have here. Then maybe I can hand sanitizer my hands and clean off some of the lead. Oh boy. That's what Apple promises to do. We're getting X1E at work this month. Can't wait to play with it. Yeah, the X1E, yeah, you'll have those things where you won't have bamboo listening in on you, which I don't really give a shit about that. Like, I don't really care if they listen in on my stuff, but, yeah, for a work environment, that's why you're probably with the X1E. Yeah, that's exciting. That is exciting for you, for sure. That'll be fun. You'll very much enjoy it. It's like, I mean, if you've used a different... So, like, if you've used 3D printers before, I assume you have, Kyle. If you use 3D printers before, when you get a bamboo, there's, like, this moment of, like, oh, and then there's like a secondary moment of like, oh shit. Like, and then you just stop using your other printers, you know? I mean, I'll still run my other printers, but the bamboo's just like, it's not matched. It's just so good. I love it. So let me clean this up with some tape. Also unplug my soldering iron so I don't burn my house down. Jesus, it's so... This thing here. This thing... It's just like... Jesus. I have to crush these down, I think, a little bit. Should fix it. Nope, didn't fix it. I don't feel like screwing with that, so I'm just putting it over here. Vacuum that tabletop? No, I just shake this onto the floor, sweep it. I really want to eat this right now, but I have lead fingers. Okay. Hey, I end up in the hospital. You all know why. Lead food. Those things are so damn oily, too. It's, like, unbelievable. Like, the amount of oil in that is crazy. I don't well, I can do that, too. I could have done that, but... I don't like leaving this LiPo battery connected. I don't like leaving it connected with that. I'd rather have that disconnected and have it the other way. So you can do it either way. It's just one way I feel a little bit safer with. Not that it really makes a massive difference, but... One way has power flowing through it, the other way doesn't. I mean, I guess it still does technically, but I like doing it that way. That's basically more of the story there. The massive mess here still. I want to clean this all up. Alright, I got that stuff in there. Let's put this here. Here's another PCB. So yeah, I didn't really dive too deep into looking at these PCBs, but yeah, they're very, very good quality. I very much like how they came out. And this one's the one that I ripped the column off. I ripped this one off. But yeah, they look really good. Has some grease on it. And then they also offer the matte black, which is... This is a big reason I would say this is stuck to my... I have that ball of gum stuff here. Oh, Jesus. This is one reason I would say that Next PCB would take the cake on other production places, is they offer matte black, where a lot of places don't offer that. So you can see the difference there. This one has some fingerprints on it, but matte black is kind of nice. So I like the shiny one, I think, a little bit more than the matte black, but the matte black is nice. It's just a thing they have, which I thought was kind of cool. So I had them send me both of those so I could check them out. But yeah, let's put these here. Another thing, JST connectors. I was going to mention this. So this board is going to be wireless. Every kit's going to come with one of these connectors so you can place battery in if you did the Nice Nano build. But I didn't do Nice Nano on this, so I don't use them. Let me get over here. Will this follow me? Do the thing. Do the thing, camera. Oh, fuck it. We do this. Will that work? There we go. Okay. Alright, so now you can follow me around while I fix shit, because I have a mess that I need to clean up. Because before this, all my stuff kind of spilled. My feet. Actually, that reminds me, I need these for the bottom of it, so I'm gonna put those over there. But yeah, I spilled my entire contents of my parts bin over there, which was fun. But oh, come on, camera, you can find me. There we are. Bamboo printers are crazy easy to use. Yeah, they're extremely simple. They just kind of work. That's what I love about it. Especially if you're like me and have a business oriented around this stuff. It's worth the investment 100% because I just press print, my shit prints. It's stupid simple. So I have all my parts in there. I have these here. Diodes goes there. It's still on top here. This thing's still following me? It is. Alright, clean up my screws because I have a million screws everywhere also. What do you store your parts in? Scotto cribs? Well, right now I have this. Actually, behind me. I could... This is so weird. It's like I just have this random thing following me. Oh, I can't really show it, but right there, this. I have a bunch of parts in there. But then I also have this that I store my store stuff in, some of my store stuff. It's like a makeup box. My mom gave this to me. But I kind of store all my shit in here. So I have a bunch of parts. And this camera, you get the idea. It has those. Scotto Ender Chest. Yeah, it's like the Scotto Ender Chest. We'll just call it that, sure. It has a lot of stuff in here. I'll show you another thing, actually, that's kind of... Because I need to get in there, too. But, close this up. I'll put this over here. I do have this. Which... This is my controller box. Some of my controllers. So I have, all my... what's that? That's a RP2040 board. I have these in here. zeros. Yeah, I keep all my like stuff in here. Wow, his chat interface is seriously delayed from YouTube. Is it? Is it? I don't know. I mean, it's probably like a 15 to 20 second. It's not the interface. The delay is like 15 to 20 seconds. I stream on low latency, but low latency isn't like low latency. It's just low latency, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I think we're almost cleaned up now. What else do I have to clean up? I have my little trash can here. Put that over here. You see, if I clean up on stream, I don't have to clean up afterwards. So I just hang out with you guys while I clean up. And then I don't have to do it after. But we are going to do a typing test on this in just a moment. I got to put my bag of this over here. What else do we have? These leftover parts. You're almost there. Let me dump all these spares in here. Jesus, that's so many controllers. Yeah, when you sell them, that happens to be what happens. And also, I like to hoard controllers because I never know when I'm going to want to build a board. So not only do I stock them for my store, I also build boards. So, you know, and so much plastic waste. I noticed sometimes it seemed to take a while to see chat, and I was curious why. Yeah, streaming, I could do it on a lower latency, but then the quality would be worse. So, like, there's like 3 different settings on YouTube. Let me fix my camera too. Let me just put that back. There's different settings on YouTube streaming that you can do. There's like a lower latency one, a higher quality one, which is like a minute latency, so it's like super long. And then there's like a low latency one where you like it's faster, but it looks worse. So I picked the middle option where it's kind of in between them all. But what I do at the end of this is watch. So we have this here now with all my junk on it. Just like that. And then what I'll do is later I will sweep my floor once or twice a week and clean that all up. Another thing, actually. I didn't show these. These were kind of the prototypes of the case. So, like, when I was trying to figure out how to do it, this was printed on the bamboo, but look how shit that looks. Like, look at that. So, these walls had, like, weird curves on them. They were, like, kind of messing it up. So, yeah, I kind of figured that out. And then this one, too, same issue. You can see how that kind of printed. And then I figured out how to fix the walls, and we came to the case format now. Was this design inspired by the Revyon or a different board? No, I don't remember what exactly inspired this one, but this is the original. That's the original ScottoWing. Hand-wired, of course. Whoop, just fell off of it. Keycap. These keycaps like to fall off by resin ones, but yeah, that's the original. So let me put these over here now. Ugh, like down on the ground right now. All right, put those there. Let's put the PCBs here. Put this on top of here. Clean up my entire big old mess here. So here's the board. I think it looks good. Too fast to the cooling on the extruder. No, that wasn't. So that wasn't an extruder issue. This was strictly, so this issue here was strictly these corners. So these corners, basically, I 3D print my PCB cases as 1.6 millimeters. So I get 4 walls in total, 2 on the inside and 2 on the outside, right? So it's 2 here and then 2 there. But these corners had like a spot inside of them that it had to fill after the fact. So to print the 2 walls and 2 walls, that it kind of like started blobbing there. So it wasn't cooling, it was that it was just blobbing because it had an extra step it was doing. And then I figured that out and I fixed it. So that's where we're at. But let me pop these feet onto the back of this. And I will mention that if you do buy the case from me, I mean, that's your only option to get the case for my PCBs is buy them through me, but they do come with the feet, so you'll be able to get the feet on it also. You don't have to like buy separate feet, because I think some people do that when they buy from me. They buy separate feet, and I wonder if they're just buying extras or if they don't know that the case comes with it. Because I don't think I put it on the thing. So I should probably start putting that on there that, hey, it comes with feet, so you don't have to buy them separate. But, yeah. Abstergo lower, Abstergo logo. That is just me. I figured that out. I just did it. This one, same thing. I just kind of made what worked in the area. So I didn't like do anything unique there or special, I guess. I just kind of did it. But yeah, let's put this over here. This reminds me too. I just saw this here actually. Reminds me of that flux thing in the back. Yeah, flux capacitor. I guess that's actually kind of what it is. But this reminded me. They sent me this PCB, or next PCB, which I just wanted to show because it's kind of really cool. It's nothing like, it's not a product they have or anything. I thought it was cool. It's they call it a DFM ruler, which kind of gives all their like specs that they can produce, but it's a ruler, and like you could use it. It has like it's a PCB ruler. It's just kind of cool. Like you see like the different trace spacing and stuff. You can see like all this stuff on it, which is cool. What else is there? Like the thickness of copper, I guess. Plated through holes. Just kind of interesting. Largest plated slot. So like that's the biggest slot they could do that's plated. Kind of cool. Just figured I'd show that. But yeah, let's take this and put it off to the side. And now we want to do a typing test, of course, because we are at the typing test phase of this video. So let us plug the board in. All right, so that is... Okay, so that... I forgot how annoying that is on Windows. So Windows is annoying with its, my mod here that I have. So I have a mod where I can hold it to do command or something else, but that's cool. They don't sell that. Yeah, I don't think they sell it. It's just something... Maybe they give us out for free with orders. I don't know. It's kind of cool, though. They sent it to me. But yeah, so if I switch to my screen here, you can see when I type... let me switch to this one. So, like, this is a test... Well, it's actually not doing now, but I have that bound to open that. So let's go to monkey type. Did people fill out the IC? Oh, you guys did. Awesome. Here, I'm going to drop this in here again for people to fill out. If you haven't done this, fill out this, fill this out. I want to know. Is that enter or? Oh, I don't have this key. Shit, I'm gonna have to fix that. Actually, wait, I don't, because I should have enter. Is that not enter? Oh, this is my key map. Hold on, wait. Hold on. Don't go to that link. Go to this one. Fill this out if you can. This is the IC for this, but, yeah, I'm gonna have to. Let me see, does this fire anything? I think the switch isn't in there. Let me fix that. I'm betting this is a bent pin. Yep, bent pin. Thankfully. So you just bend that back and it should work. I did not want to have to take this apart again. Okay, there we go. Should be able to pop that back in. Cool, that works. Okay, we have a fully functional board now. So, yeah, that first link did. That first link had an extra at the end because misinput. It was a misinput. All right, but what we could do now is we could actually go to. So we go to monkey type. We can enter into my type. Oh, look at that. We got the good view. And oh yeah, I should mention this. I always mention this when I'm in the typing view. I have two mics running, so it will sound weird when I talk. So if anyone knows, it's going to sound weird when I talk. But like right now, you can hear an echo. But we're going to get a typing test on this. I'm going to pop these out. I'm going to pause my music. Should have paused. Did that pause? It did pause. Okay. Turn this off. All right, here we go. Let's get a typing test. Let me also move this in closer so you can hear. All right, I'm going to shut up now. Let's type. How do I do a new one? There we go. Okay, so 103 words per minute. Not bad. It sounds good and it feels really good. I really like how it feels. These T1s are not bad. They're not bad at all. What do you guys think? How did it sound? How did it sound? Let me know. What do you think of that sound test there? going to do another one right now just because I can. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I actually kind of really vibe with that. It feels pretty good and it types pretty good. I actually really like that. So, yeah, it's definitely lacking thock. It's not gonna thock. It's heavy actually. It's a little heavier than I thought it would be too. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna just raise it up. I'm not gonna do any of that fancy stuff. I'm just gonna raise it up. So we'll just raise the case up that extra little 2 millimeters there. That should be about 2, right? Let's see, is that about 2? That should be about 2 mils, right? 1.6 actually. So I don't have to, wait, let me think how the math works with that. Oh no, it is right, because it has 0.4. Yeah, so it needs to go up about 2. Yeah. So, I personally don't care about sound. I feel like a lot of people get stuck on sound when the device isn't functional as possible. Yeah, I like sound. I mean, sound is good, but it's comfortable. I like this like stagger. This is a quarter unit stagger here. So, that means that this row is a quarter unit than each one. This is what I use on the Scotto Fly also. I really like the stagger, and I like the thumb cluster. I mean, you can see with my hands, it fits pretty nice. Like, I like that. I keep looking at my arm from my dog. Holy shit. My little dog, he tears me to shreds. Actually, wait. I'm gonna go see if I can get my dog, because I haven't shown you. I showed people before this. I'm gonna go get my dog. I'll be right back. Let me see you again. Ah. Dog. He's sleeping, so I don't want to be like too loud with him right now because he's getting ready for bed, but this is my dog here. I also wear closed back headphones so I don't even hear it. Yeah, I wear open backs, so I like sound. But you want to go back to sleep, bud? Yeah. He's so small right now. He's gonna be a big boy. Gotta make sure I don't show his like thing there too, but yeah. All right, I'm gonna bring him upstairs. So let me just put that back there. This is what I'm here for. You tired? I'm gonna bring him back up before. Yeah, I woke him up for this. He's getting ready. Scotto dog. Yeah. That's the Scotto dog right there. I just had to show him while people were here because people didn't see him before at the beginning of the stream. So let's put this back. So yeah, I guess that's it. That's what I got tonight. I got the build. Rest easy, Scotto doggo. Yeah, he's gonna sleep now. He sleeps a shit ton. That's why I keep mentioning my arm. This is all from him. Like, it looks like I went through a damn meat grinder. Like, he likes to eat me. He wants to eat. Every time he sees me, he wants to bite me. So that's been kind of fun, but yeah, I want to type on this again because this is fun. Yeah. Yeah, he's a boxer. He's a black boxer, or I guess they call it reverse brindle. He kind of has like brown in him. You'll see it sometimes, but yeah. We'll just chill here for a little bit now, I guess, because we got the build done. Any questions people have right now? Like, because I haven't streamed, I haven't been doing anything. I haven't been doing content or anything, like, over the past few months, so I've kind of just been hanging out with the dog, basically. And I'm out of breath because I had to carry his fat ass upstairs. He's getting heavy. He's like 21 pounds now. It's only 10 weeks, so hefty boy. Out of breath. Oh my god. This camera still is weird that it does this. Follows me around. But I am actually going to do this because I want to. So yeah, that's the board. I like the board. Let's go back here. I can use this now, actually, but yeah, so this is revision 2, if you care. This is revision, well, technically revision 2, but I'm calling it 1. But if we look at the PCB viewer, LB would actually take a look at it. Is my camera still following me? It is. Let me reset that. So yeah, here's the second version of the board. Let's hide these. I'll leave those on. So on the second one, we will have a button here. So I'll have a button for the reset. I'm putting in the middle. I put the date here. Just kind of cleaned it up a little bit. But yeah, that's the second one. And I also pulled the switch back. So like if you're doing a wireless one, this switch will be pulled back because then it will sit in the case better. But that's kind of where we're at with it. This is the one that's going to be produced. Can a split ergo thock? Maybe. Maybe. This one doesn't really thock. I don't know why, but my plate's like pushing out. Not a big fan of this plate, I don't think. I might have to figure something out better with the plate. Because like, I don't know. Something weird with it. Let me see if I can actually get that in there. I might switch this to a 1.5 plate. I think the 3's too thick. I think it's causing issues, so yeah. I didn't notice, were there holes in the case to access the power reset power reset switches? Yes, so up top there. So on this one, I have to move everything up, so disregard like it not being there. I have to move it up 2 millimeters basically. But there will be a power switch right above there. There'll be a power switch, and then there will be that there, and then underneath there'll be these little cutouts that you can reach in and press the buttons. There's only be one button though, so on this PCB, there's just the one button there in the middle. I actually have the design. I could probably open it in Shaper. Let me see if I can open it. So if I open Shaper, it's gonna do the updating shit. Just open Shaper, please. What is this doing? Close. Open. Alright, there. This will open it. Perfect. Okay, so. Do I have to log back in? I don't have my login. Shit. Well, I was going to show you. Yeah. Anyway, the new case is just going to have a single hole there for the reset button. And then the switch, you can see, is right here. It's just a little micro switch. So that will be up top. I just have to push everything up on the actual cases. So I just have to push this all up 2 millimeters so you can actually get access. The 2 pads above the reset are for battery, correct? Yes. So this here is the battery. This here is for the battery. So we have it indicated. Well, I'll show you how the circuit works. So we have a plus and a minus. You can see that the plus on the left here, the circle, goes up to the switch, goes into here, and then it goes over to the power through a via. You can kind of see it underneath. But yeah, that's where that will go. And I'm going to be including with these on the kits, the PCB kits. They're going to include, this is the male header, but it will just come with a female version of this. Let me actually show you. I have it right here. What am I doing? Let me just show you. So I'll include these with the kits. And I was going to do just a regular JST, like I was going to do that connector. But I figured doing the wire, it gives you more options where you can kind of trim this down and get it where you need inside the case, because I didn't factor in like the battery. I didn't want to limit people to any specific battery. So I kind of made it so you could put any battery in there and then just route it with this and like tape. So you can basically double stick tape it, glue it down, do whatever you need to get a big battery in there. And then you can route it where you need in the case so you can kind of have access there. And now that it's actually 2 millimeters higher, it gives you a little bit more room to work with. So that will actually work nice too. So there's a lot going for this now that's actually kind of good. It's ready to be produced is what I'm saying. Like, it's ready to actually move forward. We learned some stuff today. I'm going to switch the plate to 1.5 mils. So I don't like the thick one on it. I don't think it works the best. So I will be changing that. I like the wire better than a solder connector. Yeah, that's... I wanted to do a JST here, but like then you have this big chunk here and you're like limited where you can mount the battery. So the wire will work better, I think. But yeah, we've been going for 3 hours now. That's all I got. I think it's 11:05. It's pretty late. I gotta go eat. I'm hungry. I'm anticipating this being out in a few days, so I'm actually gonna share right now. I want to share where you can stay updated with this, because do you plan to do a chalk version? Not for this one probably. This one's probably just gonna be this, but so I think this is the is it pages? Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna share this link. So this is my, yeah, the original is, yeah, this is the original. This one's chalk, so you can kind of see. I went with MX, so I'll actually talk a little bit about that, but if you want to be updated with this, you can sign up for the newsletter on my website, and you'll get an email when it's there. But, yeah, so talking about this, do I have a different view for this? What views do I thought I had, like, I guess it's kind of the type of view. We'll do this one. So, yeah. This board here, kind of the decision with this, I could talk about the decision right now, is that my first PCB that I did, so my first PCB board that I did was the Scotto 34, and it had a lot of things with it that didn't really appeal to a wide audience. It was chalk, first of all, so it was expensive. It used surface-mounted diodes, so that was a pain in the ass for like a beginner to build. It was a 3x5 layout. I'm flipping you off there. 3x5 layout. Why did I do that? It's a 3x5 layout, so that was a little bit harder. This one here is the 3x6 layout, but then you can break off the column and make it a 3x5 if you wanted to. It is through-hole diode, so it's a little bit easier to build. What else does it have? It's nice nano or RP2040 Pro Micro, which is kind of nice there, so it's wireless optional. It has a lot more stuff. Also, it has these south-facing switches, so these switches are facing south, so Cherry won't be... There won't be incompatibilities with Cherry switches, so if you want to use those, you can do that. It's a more wider appealing board kind of with this one, so I anticipate this one to sell a little bit better than the 34, because the 34 was pretty niche, but this one isn't. Do you prefer these switches or Acco Lavenders? These ones are nice, but they're not Acco Lavenders. Acco Lavenders are great. I love those switches so much. I actually like the Holy Panda clones that I've gotten off AliExpress recently too, though, so those are kind of coming in close. But yeah, these are fine. These are not bad switches, but the Acco Lavenders have a little bit more pop to them. These don't have as much pop, so... but yeah, this board I'm anticipating is going to sell really well. Pricing for it, I've kind of been roughly at where I'm going to be. I think I'm going to do $30 for the case and then $35 for the PCB kit, just because the PCB is a little bit bigger and more in-depth than the Scotto 34, so there's a little bit more to it. And that will, of course, include the hot swap sockets. It will include the solder connector, so it will include this, it will include the reset button. It will include pretty much everything you need to build a PCB other than the controller, sockets, and switches, like that stuff. So yeah, probably about $70 for the whole kit is what I'm thinking for this one, just so I can make a profit on it and stuff. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I'm anticipating probably about 2 weeks. I'm going to order the actual production PCBs in the next few days. You should explore a Switch review format. I don't know. I don't really feel like doing Switch reviews because I don't get too deep into the Switch battles. I kind of like all Switches. Like I'm not too biased for any one Switch. But thanks for all your videos. Help me get my head straight working on my trackball mod on the Azuron controller. Well, no problem. I'm glad it was helpful. It's crazy to me how many people have like gotten help from my videos. I love that like people have actually gotten help from my videos. That me sitting in my basement, I'm helping people build keyboards. It's awesome. I enjoy it. But yeah, so that's where we're at. It's 11:08. I don't know, I feel like I haven't streamed in a while. I'm just kind of like vibing now. Like I could end this stream, but I'm also like kind of vibing. So I don't know. If you want me to stay up, you guys gotta chat more, say more stuff, or I'm just gonna go to sleep. Not really go to sleep. I say go to sleep, but I probably wouldn't go to sleep. I'd probably just like go watch the Fallout show. Actually, yeah, that makes me think. I need to be watching the Fallout show because the Fallout show is pretty good. On Prime. Long form video idea. Swap a bunch of switches into this keyboard and compare them. Put the hot swaps to good use. Maybe. I don't know. I don't want to mess with the hot swaps on it. I did them. They're kind of janky. Like I kind of did janky hot swaps on this. It's 5 in the morning. Yeah, Dr. G. I know. Where are you again, Dr. G? I forget where you're at. You're in Europe, right? I forget. 5 a.m. is like Europe. That's like mid-Europe. Because I know London is like 5 hours ahead, so it'd be 4 there. So like Germany area, somewhere like that, right? But yeah. Pace yourself. 1 episode of Fallout a night. Don't ruin. I'm on episode 5. I got like 3 more. I actually got to play Fallout again. I always get about an hour or 2 into the games and I just stop. I just forget about them. But dude, your videos are what got me started handwiring. So yeah, thanks for sharing with us. Like that's what I like. I like that people are finding out about handwiring because like I only found out about this like a year and a half ago. Italy, Italian brother. I am Italian. Well, not like from Italy, but a lot of Italian in my blood. My whole dad's side is Italian, so it's actually kind of crazy. But yeah, handwiring. I started in it like a year and a half ago, and then here we are now. I don't know. I don't want to flex and say, but maybe it's just because I've started hand wiring so much that I notice it more. But I think since my videos, I've seen more people hand wiring. So, you know, not to flex, but maybe take some credit there. I did the hand wiring revolution, you know. So I started the hand wiring revolution. Could tell. Yeah, Italian. I'm not a big fan of Italian food, though, even though I am Italian. I mean, Italian's okay. It's okay, but... Let me check out the IC here. Let's see what we got in here. 22 responses. Awesome. So yeah, it looks like most people actually want to build it with the RP2040, which is good. At least good for me because I'm going to stock that on my shop. So like, I mean, people will buy it from me or they'll buy it somewhere else too. But I don't know. I like nice nano builds, but like nice nanos are just expensive. They're just expensive, so it's not the most accessible. That's why people ask about the clones all the time, but they're expensive. A nice nano build is like $30 plus minimum for the controller, and that's a lot, especially if you build a lot of boards. But anyway, I am gonna end the stream now. It's 11:12, so it's pretty late. Dr. G, it's 5 a.m. You gotta sleep. Astrom, I started handwiring after I found the Redux of Thingiverse a few years ago. Yeah, handwiring, it's great. So yeah. I'm going to go use this as my main board probably now. And then in a few weeks, I will have the actual things available for sale. I just have to get the actual production PCBs. And yeah, I don't like wireless. Also, my PCB doesn't have Bluetooth. Yeah, wireless is a pain down here. I've said this. Like, it's annoying down here because this keyboard disconnects to the PC where the wireless is. So, yeah. But, yeah. I wouldn't buy it because I'd rather build it. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing with hand wiring. Like, here I am. I'm trying to sell my PCBs, right? But, like, hand wiring is good because, like... The hell is beeping? It's like a weird beep. Anyway, yeah. Hand wiring is nice because you build it yourself. It's like feeling good. Even building this PCB here, like, this doesn't feel like I built it still. I had a company produce a PCB that I designed. So, yeah, but... Anyway, Astrom, have a good rest of your night. I hope you do too. If it is night where you are, I'm assuming it's night. You'd have to be like West Coast if it wasn't night. It'd still be night there. Yeah, my brain's starting to fry. I'm gonna go do something else now. I built the board. We'll have videos on this here soon, so we'll be talking more about this. But then I also have QMK videos coming out soon. Handwire builds coming out. I have a bunch of stuff coming out. It's kind of like took a month and a half with a dog to just kind of chill, and then now it's time for videos again. But I'm ending this here. I will see you guys next time. I have to find out how the hell to get off of this. So yeah, I will see you guys. Take it easy. Good night. Make sure to join the Discord if you haven't already. Links down below. So make sure to join that if you're not in there.